I'm trying not to choke off on my words. Because I'm going to be reading from this.
Don't even worry about
It's Friday. Live from the new Hot 97.9.
Hot 97.9, we back. The hottest hip hop and R&B. Right now, we are live in Raleigh, North Carolina with Commanding General Yahanna. What's going on, man? How you doing?
All right. How you doing, party boy?
Man, I'm good. I cannot complain. It's Saturday night. It's so much going on. The vibes is in the city. Aquarius. It's Aquarius season, so, you know, they celebrate their birthdays and whatnot. How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. Feeling great. Glad to be in Raleigh. Glad to be down in the South. Glad to get out of New York for a minute and come on and see all the brothers and sisters.
Man, big shout out to New York. What part of New York, matter of fact?
The boogie down.
The boogie down. Where exactly is that?
That's the Bronx. That's the Bronx. Okay. Oh, my bad. I assume everybody knows.
big shout out to the Bronx, man. See, my people's from Queens, but I heard the Bronx really get down. Is that true?
The Bronx is beautiful because it's such a mixture. You got Black, Latino, you got Puerto Ricans, you got Dominicans, you got a little nice mix of flavor up in there. You know what I mean? West Indian.
The flavor.
Yeah.
That's all about melanin. We always got the flavor. And speaking of melanin, let's talk about I.S.U.P.K. What is that?
I.S.U.P.K. is the founders of the Black Hebrew Israelites across this country. The brothers you see out on the street corners every day trying their best to turn our brothers from all the crime and drugs that's wiping us out. That's the I.S.U.P.K., the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. And what exactly do y'all represent? Because I heard what you said. It's for stand-up men, right? So what makes the men so stand up, and what do y'all teach?
Well, what it is we teach the Bible, the Old and New Testament. If you think of the Jewish faith, now you take the Jewish faith, you add Jesus Christ to the Jewish faith, and then you turn around and go into the history and get the origins of the people of the Bible, which were Black. And now you got the Israelites. You got the full true story. That's why a lot of people don't understand the Bible, because they don't have the whole story. And what the Israelites do, and I.S.U.P.K. does, is let everybody know the real truth, that the slaves that came here in America, and that's why it's so beautiful we're talking about this in the South. The slaves that came here in America during the slave trade are in fact descendants of the original biblical Hebrew Israelites. When you go back in the Bible, Revelation 1:14, it tells you Jesus was Black. If you go to Jeremiah 14:2, it tells you Jeremiah says the Israelites are Black. If you go to Solomon, who was David's son, King David's son, he said that he was Black. There's many. If you go to Daniel 10:5 and 6, it tells you that they were Black. So the people of the Bible are Black people. Moses was a Black man. He was not a Caucasian man. And so when you put that piece together, and then you realize what has happened to Blacks in America, especially here in the South, then you begin to realize that what happened in ancient Egypt, where the Jews were in slavery, is exactly what happened in the slavery in America. And the kicker is the slaves in Egypt were Black, the slaves in America were Black. You go to Egypt tomorrow, and I've been there several times, and you look at the pyramids, and they show the slaves working in the field. The slaves are brown-skinned people, just like the Egyptians were. It wasn't brown-skinned people enslaving Caucasians. It was brown-skinned people enslaving brown-skinned people. That's a big misconception. And then you got the Israelites, which is a nonprofit organization to help brothers and sisters, man.
Have you seen the movie Woman King?
I have not seen it. I refuse to see the movie Woman King because it's such a misnomer. First of all, if you know the history, that the movie does not depict the story correctly. At all. There were no women warriors back then doing anything. That's a myth. Women in times of war had to fight and do different things. But the greater hurt of it is this. In such a horrible time for Black men are hated by everybody. Black men are being incarcerated in massive rapes, being shot to death by cops. I'm not saying sisters are not, but with everything going on with Black men, why are we trying to now act like Black women, should take a leading role? Well, we need to empower and strengthen Black men. Just finding out that Jesus Christ was a Black man is very motivating for Black men. When they look at that and they look at a righteous man like Jesus Christ and find out, wait a minute, that picture that I've been looking at for my whole life really came from the Roman Catholic Church and has nothing to do with Jesus. when he in fact was a brown-skinned man with woolly hair, according to the book of Daniel, book of Revelation, Jeremiah.
I got a rebuttal for you.
Go ahead.
And that rebuttal is to say that, matter of fact, we're going to get right back. We're going to come right back and hit on this topic. Because, ladies, I know y'all want to call in and talk about this because they heard Woman King say, hold on, listen. So we're going to hop right back into it, man. It's your boy, Party Boy. We be back in the hottest hip-hop and R&B. Commanding General Yohanna, what's up?
That's what's up.
Thursday, March 30th, it's going down, the annual I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General Yohanna's all-black party at the Durham Armory. Doors open at 8 p.m. featuring live music, open bar, wine, and beer. We got DJ Party Boy in the mix, man. Tickets are available on ticketspice.com. 25 pre-sale tickets, 30 at the door. Ladies, y'all free until 11 p.m. Need y'all in the building, man, for Commanding General Yohanna's all-black party at the Durham Armory. Thursday, March 30th. It's going down. Doors open at 8 p.m. featuring live music. The annual I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General Yohanna.
Yahweh.
You close.
No?
You close.
Wait.
It's Yahweh.
Yahweh. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people get the mistranslation. Because they changed the Hebrew later on. They added vowels to it, which changed the language.
Which changed, how does it spell?
It's spelled Y-A-H-A-W-A-H. C-W-A-H.
Because we about to talk about that in a second. Because you know my stepdad, I guess it's stepdad-in-law.
Yeah.
Is that the same?
Yeah.
Like,
Your
my lady's mother's husband. My lady's mother's husband.
Yeah, that's he's your stepdad.
But stepdad.
Yeah.
He's an Israelite. He wears the tassels and everything. That's it. Y'all wear tassels, right?
We don't wear tassels.
What is it
The
called?
white Jews wear tassels, but we're supposed to wear fringes.
That's what it's called.
Okay, no sweat. He wears fringes.
Because we even had long conversations that
Okay.
it's called fringes.
Okay.
You wear fringes, the sons wear fringes,
Okay.
and stuff. So.
Here's what I know he hasn't told you yet.
What?
But that the people of Trinidad and Tobago are direct descendants of the tribe of Benjamin in the scriptures, according to historical facts.
Hold on, what? Run that back.
Okay. Yeah. I knew that you had never heard this before. But when you go, you know there's 12 tribes to the children of Israel. When you read about the biblical Israelites, there's 12 families that make up the Israelites. Okay? They call them tribes. And one of those tribes is the tribe of Benjamin, or Bunyamin in the Hebrew. And he was the youngest son. He was Jacob's youngest son. He's the youngest son from the group that went into slavery. And what they don't tell you is when you trace their history back from Benjamin, from back in ancient days, right on up to today, the Caribbean islands, including Trinidad and Tobago, are the descendants of the Benjamites. I'm a Benjamite. He's a Benjamite. We're descendants of the tribe of Benjamin, from being from the Caribbean.
And the Caribbean overseas, then like right?
Okay, no, because the people of Trinidad were brought there as slaves. There was a group that came first, the Caribs. They came early. But the slaves, the descendants of slaves like you and I, those were carried over there from Africa, and they were escaping the slaughter of the Africans. Those are the Benjamites. I had to sit down in the class and break it all down for you. But our organization's been around since 1969. So we ain't newcomers to the game. We've been studying the history on these 12 tribes for decades. And so we know who they are and where they are. Like a lot of people don't know that Puerto Ricans are descendants of the tribe of Ephraim. They are not Puerto Rican. Think about it. Who would name themselves Puerto Rico, which is rich port? The Spaniards named it that. Because when the Spaniards came, they said, yo, look at all these riches. And they were stealing all the gold and diamonds and jewels. So the Puerto Ricans didn't name themselves Puerto Ricans. The Spaniards named them Puerto Ricans. When you go back and check their history, they're the Taino and Boricua Indians. Those Indians are of the tribe of Ephraim, from the 12 lost tribes of Israel. They came over here when the Assyrian Empire was in existence. That's why people that say they don't know where the Latinos originated from. They try to say they came from Asia. None of that's true. They came over here during the Assyrian Empire. Yeah. Let's do it.
W250AZ, Raleigh, Durham, and WNUG 750 AM, New Hope NC, a PMC broadcasting station, black-owned and operated, but never operating on CP time. We hope that you are enjoying the show. Broadcasting live throughout the 919 Metro, and we're waking you up every morning with Young Jock and the Streets Morning Takeover Show. We bang the hottest hip-hop and R&B right here on the new Hot 97.9 FM. Flame on.
It's Party live on the new Hot 97.9.
Hot 979, we do bang the hottest hip hop and R&B. It's your boy Party Boy, and we are right back in the mix with Commanding General Yahanna. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. Holding it down. Looking good. Feeling good.
New York is in the building. I heard New York really get down, man. Since we've been talking, they is not cutting no cards again. Straight to the point. They ain't saving feelings. They telling you the truth. That's what we trying to do, man. We trying to get y'all the truth. Is you gonna listen? Because we speaking the truth right now. So we're gonna talk about it right now. So check this out, right?
Mm-hmm.
In searching up the I.S.U.P.K. online, a lot of the black and brown demographic and others in general would find the SPLC's labeling of you as a hate group. Is there any truth to that? Are y'all a hate group?
That is absolutely untrue. The Southern Poverty Law Center calls us a hate group because we bring up the crimes that's done to blacks and Latinos, which is ridiculous. Like if you call us a hate group, then why aren't you calling the NYPD a hate group or the Los Angeles Police Department? I ain't killed nobody. Exactly. I ain't dragged nobody out of their car. I ain't split nobody's head open. I didn't rape no women, on a car stop. I ain't mass incarcerating and planting drugs on people. How you gonna call us a hate group, but you ain't gonna call? Listen, matter of fact, you got to call the whole United States a hate group at this point. So how you gonna say that? So see, they call us a hate group because we turn around and say the white man is the devil for the things that he's done. The word devil just means adversary. This man has been an adversary to black and brown people for the last 400 years, and it hasn't let up yet. All the crimes that have been committed, you gotta call the United States prison system a hate group that mass incarcerates us. You gotta call the entire judicial system a hate group. If you're gonna really be fair, how you gonna call us a hate group because we point out the crimes that's being done to us? How you gonna call us a hate group? Which I'm sure gonna lead to another question, which is,
I don't know you. I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch with Commanding General Yahanna, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he make man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
We don't need a black man in the White House. We need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
Commanding General Yahanna. He will be here shortly. Until then, we have General Mike Alaka. Give him a hand. So how's that? Yeah. What's the young brother's name in the back? Trooper Mathumya. Give him a hand.
What's going on, Warrior?
Getting it on. Holding down the whole zone. Well, listen, we're going to go over all the stories, answer all of your questions.
save all of the lives, exalt the children of Israel, and debase every lie that has divided us and has destroyed us. We'll get it on in a few minutes. Officer, you died. Do you have the first story you want to get into?
Ohio Senator, East Palestine residents right to be skeptical after train derailment.
Listen, the residents, there was this train, I believe, it's somewhere in Ohio. The train was carrying God knows what on this train. Carrying every evil thing from your nightmare. It was on this train. The train derailed and spilled all of that wickedness into the streams and in the rivers. The fish started dying like crazy, y'all. The fish die, everything dies. You can go set the water on fire right now. There's videos with them scraping the water, and the water is on fire. And of course, they're telling people that, the water is fine. You can move back into your homes. There's no problem. And the senator is saying you have every right to be skeptical if you live in one of these houses. Because, of course, our oppressor cares about one thing and one thing only. And this is why I don't understand why more of you don't adhere to God's commandments and God's law. Because the Most High God gave us a Bible, not only to understand who you are, but to understand who your enemy is. And this is what the Bible says. Give me 1 Timothy, the 6th chapter. This is what the Bible says about the train derailment. First of all, if you're wondering if this train derailment is important biblically, it absolutely is. Not itself alone, but this kind of event you have to prepare yourself for, because all of these systems and the apparatus in America that you trusted in times past, the police force that you at one time trusted in, the military, the city agencies, the government agencies, all of these things are going to fall. All of your trusted and reliable resources, the water department, all of these things are going to fall. Why? Because it's time for our adversary to fall. And so everything that you thought you could depend on in him will now be revealed to you to be something that is weak and something that you cannot rely on. This is what, a precept I want, 1 Timothy 6, money. It's right here. The love of money.
1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10.
Listen carefully. If you think you don't need the Bible, you do. Here's proof. This is why you should not trust that some agency tells you it's safe to go back into your home. This is why you shouldn't trust it. Go ahead.
1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
Listen, that's your enemy. That's how he thinks. Everything in life to him is about money.
Yes, sir.
Everything. Trust me, I'm from the tribe of Judah. I'm a so-called black man. So you white people that live in Ohio in those houses, I understand something you don't understand. I understand how when there is a financial motive for white people, it will supersede everything. There is nothing that will matter more to him than money. So why is he telling you your house is safe? Because every senator and every congressman is getting money from the train company who are lobbying every government official to say these houses are fine, because they will push off the problem because you won't get the cancer for 20 years. That's all, which is what they've done in every inner city. Everyone. The lead pipes are not a big deal right now. The asbestos, not a big deal right now. Why? Because they're going to get 20 years of profits before the inevitable cancer studies start to come in. It'll be 30 years from now. You know what you'll have in Ohio? You'll have a bunch of violent little white kids in Ohio, and you'll wonder why they're so violent. Ask Chicago why the children are so violent. Because there's lead in the water. Those people's brothers and sisters in Chicago have been drinking lead since the 50s. Drinking lead and everything, dying slowly every day. And then before you know it, everybody is super violent, super agitated, and super sick. Ohio, just get ready to have a terrible crime problem in about 7 years, 10 years, and in about 20 years, just get ready for everyone to have cancer. By then, the profits will cover the lawsuits. It's like a dynamic. They just do the math. well, we'll get this many lawsuits. We'll pay out this much in lawsuits. It will cost this much to get everybody a new house. Oh, brother, that's just a math problem. That's all. It's not a whole, it's not nothing, it's not anything, moral. How much would it cost to pay the lawsuits in 30 years? As opposed to buying everyone in this valley a new house of equal value today, they'll just wait and do it in 30 years because in 30 years they'll have profits and interest on those profits. Yeah, if I was you, I wouldn't drink none of that water down there in Ohio. Now that's your house. That's up to you. But if I was you, when you see all those dead fish all around, I wouldn't go ahead and drink that water. And when the water is on fire, I just wouldn't, get in it. Now that's up to you what you want to do. You're free. You're a free American. Let's play some videos.
If I could.
Please, Hodge.
I know when it happened, they said they want everybody to stay in the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And lock your doors and windows. Like if they don't want you with your windows open, let the fresh air in, that means the air contaminated. Are you kidding me? Everybody should have been taken out of that area.
It's hard to get away from air house. That's a hard thing to get away from. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
and when they tell you, how am I going to get away from this air exactly? Break that down for me. And now they're telling you, go back into your house. There's no problem. There's nothing to see here, my everything is fine. Everybody just gets cancer in 20 years. That's all. You people might want to read the Bible, right? White people have a financial motive. And once that happens, you are not winning if you're against that motive.
Yeah.
There is no way you can win. It's impossible to win. What you better do out there in Ohio is pray for the day that black people become your overlords, that black people become your ruling class, because our water will be sweet to drink.
That's right.
I don't see why every white person doesn't pray every day for the dominance of a black king. Don't you want a black man to rule you? Don't you want a Hispanic, a Latino to be your Lord? Don't you want someone over you with compassion, with kindness? Our water will be sweet to drink. All of our homes safe. No crime, no pollution. The seas will be free of all of the filth that's flooded into the sea right now. The sea turtles can't survive. The dolphins can't survive. White people in Ohio, don't you want black people to rule you? You should pray every day. You should support the Israelite school of UPK, because in the kingdom of heaven, when black people rule this planet, you can drink the water then. Anything else? That's why y'all was shot.
Right, if I could, and also too for you brothers and sisters, you better understand what GEN.YAHANNA said earlier. You take this story and combine them with the other stories going on. You better make sure you keep your faith strong up in here. And what I mean by your faith, your works and what you do for the Lord. You understand me? Not just all that Christian stuff, about what you do for the Most High. Give me Psalms 91 real quick. There's 2 scriptures I want about things going on. You're going to see more of this stuff happening all around. Coupled with everything that's going on, let you know we're in them last days and times, man.
Yeah.
And while this is going on, you got to be rest assured that because of what you're doing for the Lord, meaning how you're going to change your life, how you're living right according to the Lord, you're going to be cool. While all around is going to be death and destruction. That's the prophecy. You got it for me, brother? Read for the people.
The book of Psalms, chapter 91 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High
Right.
shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
That secret place of the Most High is the truth that the Lord is giving you in the I.S.U.P.K. You get up here and change your life, do the things the Lord say do, He going to put a shadow over you to protect you and keep you safe. Now drop down to the part where it said about people dying on the right and on the left.
Verse 7. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand.
You're going to see people dying all around you. That's going to be going on. You're going to see it all over. You understand me? But because you put your trust in the Lord, you understand? You put your trust under the shadow of the Lord, He will spread His wings to keep you covered. Go ahead.
But it shall not come nigh thee.
This is not going to happen to you. And you got to have faith in the Most High as to what you're doing for Him. If you're being right with the Most High and doing what they do, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Now, if you're being low-key wicked or all the other wicked, now your ass got something to worry about. Because the Lord coming for you. Now you can see what's going on. It's going to scare you. Because you know you ain't doing right by the Lord. And you deserve to be scared. The Bible says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear, fearing him for you going against him. That's how you get wisdom, man, to fear him. And you better do what he say do, because if not, the other side is Ohio.
What's that?
It's Ohio. Listen, I don't even really want to go downtown no more. I won't go downtown. I won't be around nowhere where there's a whole lot of Edomites no more, because I know anything can pop off. And I really don't want to really be around it. You understand me? Safety with the Lord all the time. Slack. That's it.
Yeah, right. Is it good to go?
Right.
Yediah.
Blinken tours Turkey's earthquake zone, pledges $1 million in aid.
Oh, bless his heart. This is Blinken. Who is he again? He's the U.S. Secretary of something. What is he?
U.S. Secretary of State.
He's a U.S. Secretary of State, Blinken. He toured the disaster zone in Turkey. How many people currently died in Turkey? Got to be up there, 37 or something like that. 30. Go ahead. 40,000 people. That's a terrible number, Rob. It was a terrible destruction happened down there in Turkey, man. 40,000 people got killed. And the Secretary of State in America pledged how much money?
$100 million.
$100 million. Now, Maya, these stories will inevitably come up every year because black people hate these kinds of stories. You know about that, House? Whenever, like, let's say the U.S. pledges to give this much money to Israel. You know, how much money to give to Israel? $1 billion every year, right? Oh, they're giving now this money to Turkey because of the earthquakes. Black people will always go to these news stories and say, damn, why is America giving so much money to Turkey for 40,000 people dying? How many black people died during the COVID-19 virus? Do you dare even look up the number? Who can guess that it's more than 40,000? You want to take a guess of the number of black people that died for the COVID-19 virus? How about Hispanics? Latinos that died over the COVID-19 virus. How about Hispanics that died of gun violence and crime? Can you even imagine what that number is? $40,000. 40,000 only died. That's a terrible number. Yeah. Until I look at my number and my brothers, and their numbers are jaw-dropping. The amount of blacks and Latinos that died from the COVID-19 virus, that died from violence, that died from heart disease, that died from sickle cell, that died from...
You want to go in the front or you want to stay back here? Because he's going on break. Which one I go? You go up front? All right, good.
Have died from prostate cancer in a year. The number is insane. It's an insane number. So black people hate stories like this because they can't stand to see America helping another country when they could use that money at home. Everybody gets the point, right? Young man, I don't want to hear that argument anymore. If you're black and if you ever complain again about America spending money on another country instead of spending the money on black and Hispanic, black and Latino Americans, I don't want to hear that garbage anymore. Because the minute that you got money, you spent it in Ghana. So shut your effing mouth.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you talking anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing America gave this much money to Israel. America gave this much money to Turkey. Why does America spend all that money on other countries? You took your money that you made in the south side of Chicago. You took your money that you made in South Carolina. You took your money from St. Louis, from Milwaukee, and you spent it in Ghana. You're doing the exact same thing that Americans do. Americans have decided that it's better to make life better away from home than it is to make your own neighborhood a better place. Right. Don't get mad at America. They're doing what you did. You gave your money to Africa. Yep. Why didn't you spend that money on your neighborhood? Where are you from? Mississippi? You spent your money in Africa? You didn't find any need for money in rural Mississippi, in rural Louisiana? You died. You want to say something? Okay.
This is from NBC News. Coronavirus. Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians disproportionately killed by COVID-19 last year, study said.
And I hear white supremacists always say they shouldn't have had a vaccine. They should have let natural immunity take place. I know you fine with not having a vaccine because your grandmama ain't gonna die. I get it. I know why you want all of us just to catch it, and then those of us that die will just be dead. You'll be fine. But when you have a history of diabetes, a history of obesity, a history of high blood pressure, you're losing all your grandmamas. Some people want to keep their grandparents. Yeah. They want their mom. So they're going to go get a vaccination if there's a chance that they could keep the elderly a little while longer. I know you don't care about that because, of course, you don't have any health problems. So in your mind, you're tough and rough. You don't need any vaccines. You like a man that lives in the woods. Right. You're a prepper. You're independent. I get you. But some people like to have their mom around a little while longer. So because of that, they would like a little medication. Right. They would like a little help. But you don't need any help. America is giving $100 million to Turkey. They're giving the land of Israel, I think, $1 billion
each year.
Each year. And black people will bring this number up and they'll go, that's not right. How could you spend money in other countries and you refuse to buy schools and you refuse to spend money on health care? Nigga, you refuse. You give your money to Ghana. You give your money to Africa. Why can't Blinken give his money to Turkey? You're telling me you can get rich and leave your impoverished ghetto in America, in Texas, in Arkansas, in Mississippi. You can give your money to Ghana and America can't give its money to Turkey. Why not? At least Blinken didn't grow up in that neighborhood. You grew up in a poor neighborhood. Some of you didn't have plumbing down there in the South. Did you know about that? Some people in the South right now, they don't have indoor plumbing. They don't have any. They're in South Carolina. Call in if you didn't have any damn plumbing growing up. Or if you knew somebody with no plumbing in America.
Even
now, when they got to go to the bathroom, they get up and go outside.
In the outhouse.
Yeah, shalom. If they got it outhouse, usually it's a tree. It's up against a tree somewhere, or it's somewhere anywhere. Watch where you step. Yeah, that's their life. Yeah. And now you go take your money and give it to Africa instead of your own neighborhood. You have the same hatred for black people that Blinken has and the U.S. presidents have. You don't want to spend money in the ghetto, in the barrio. You don't want to spend money on Mexico. You don't want to spend money to make Mexico a better place to live. All you want to do is find ways to imprison Mexicans that flee their cities because of your desire for cocaine. Because you love cocaine so much, entire Mexican cities are desolate. So you find ways to imprison everyone trying to flee their city when their city is gone. Instead of spending money in Mexico, building these cities up, put $100 million into Juarez, Mexico, put $100 million into Sinaloa. That's all. Make Sinaloa a better place to live. Then people won't climb over walls and dig tunnels to come into America. They'll have no need for it. But instead, you give no money to Sinaloa, no money to that state, no money to Tijuana, no money to Chihuahua, no money to those places. And now when they come over to America to live, you throw them in jail. You don't want to spend your money on God's chosen people, and neither do black people. You don't want to spend your money on God's chosen people either, because you're racist. And for the life of me, I'm going to expose the racism, the internal racism of black rich people, of Hispanic, Latino rich people. You are just as racist as the Ku Klux Klan. You are no less hateful to blacks and Hispanics. You're just able to hide behind your black skin, behind your brown skin. But you would never spend your money in your ghetto that you grew up in. You would never spend your money in that poor town that you lived in. Never. The minute you get rich, you take your money to Ghana. To Ghana. You care more about Wakanda than you do the south side of Chicago. than you do Mississippi or Alabama. You love a make-believe place. I told you how my kids are. They went to school this week, brother. And in school, every grade, they showed Wakanda Forever. And I said to myself, we in bad shape out there. Because this is school. Are you telling me that in a high school and a grade school, there was nothing better to show these children than Wakanda Forever Part 2, the Forever of Wakanda? That's it. There's not a documentary or even a movie about an actual person that exists. No, because it's better for you to love the make-believe fake country of Wakanda than to love Mobile, Alabama. You better love Mobile. You better love Mississippi. You better love Juarez. You better love Chihuahua. You better love Sinaloa. You better love those. You better love Peru. You better love the ghettos and the barrios and the pits and the holes that raised you. You better love those places because those places actually need you. Loving Wakanda does nothing for Wakanda because Wakanda doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's not real.
And
Ghana is a foreign country full of fear, and they are not your blood in Ghana. Come on,
you know, a lot of people now coming out being, you know, you think they part of Jake or Israel, they black. A lot of them coming out to be Nigerians and Ghanese. Like a lot of that's coming out, and they exposing who they are and not being ashamed of it. They living who they are, and like how GEN.YAHANNA said, they doing these things and they don't feel no kind of way about it. It's easy for them to put Wakanda Forever in all the schools. Why? Your leaders ain't saying nothing against it. The leaders are for it. You know what I mean? They down with it. And the adversary, he feel like he ain't doing nothing wrong. Give me that shit to Jeremiah 50 and 17 real fast. The 50 and 7. They don't want to say not. That's what they think. Because your leaders are not putting a block up against these things, man. That's why we say your leaders are whores. They whores for money. That's what they are. They're whores for money. And our adversaries are saying, look, listen, man, we ain't doing nothing to stop this. I don't care. We can do what we want to do. Put up Wakanda Forever. Like how GEN.YAHANNA said, it don't even exist, yo. Like how y'all forget that it's not even a real goddamn place. It's made up. The Black Panther was a comic book cartoon character that I read when I was younger. And here we go with a whole movie about it like it really exists. This stuff don't exist, but you act like it do. They can put anything on us. And I'll leave it to them do it, and we accept it. Read the scripture for them, brother.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 7. All they that found them have devoured them.
All the nations that found us devoured us. They eating off of us, man. The man who made that movie getting millions off that movie. He eat off of y'all ignorance, man. All the people that come into the neighborhoods with their businesses, they eat off of you. All this gentrification in every black neighborhood across this land, they eat off you. And they say, yo, we ain't doing nothing wrong. Go ahead.
And their adversary said, we offend not.
See that? We don't offend them. We ain't doing nothing wrong. Go ahead.
Because they have sinned against the Lord.
They know we ain't following the Lord and doing what he say do, man. They know it. They know we are lawless people, man. That we are people full of sin and lust. So because of that, they do what they want to do to us. Keep on reading, brother.
The habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers.
See that, man? We done went against the Lord, the hope of our fathers. You understand me? So now because of that, they doing what they want to do to us. And they say, look, we ain't doing nothing wrong. It is what it is. They got everybody believing in a fictitious place. That's like dude telling everybody Superman is real. That's what this is. They look at Wakanda like it's a real place, and it's not a real place. This is a movie, yo. This is fictitious. This is the Lord of the goddamn Rings or some shit. It ain't real. But y'all treat it like it is when it's not. And why? You don't know who you are. You are so-called black, Hispanic, Native Indian. You are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That's your heritage, which is greater than the daggone goddamn Wakanda Forever. what they got from the Black Panther cartoon character in the comic books, in the Marvel comic books. Black Panther was what I used to read.
Oh, hold it. Go ahead, Alex.
That's it, sir. You come on.
No. You sure? Keep going.
Yeah, that's it, sir. Yeah, come on.
Well, General Hazian a hand. What he's saying is so true. And I used to have this video. I sent it to Captain Tizar. A white man made Black Panther, and he specifically said he made it because he knew at the time when he made it in the 70s, no white person could support a black character because of its association with civil rights and the South. So he chose to pick a person in Africa, believing that white people wouldn't be angry at an African the way they're angry at a Black American. And that is what the creator of the damn cartoon said. And Tizar Yak has the video. If you can ask him, he'll show you the video where they said that's why they picked Wakanda and not a Black American, because at the time there was so much conflict between Black Americans and white people, and they want white people to like this. So they pick Africa because white people don't have a problem in America with Africa. And that's why they made a Wakanda Forever. Can I show you one other thing? The brother Zion, give Officer Zion a hand out there in Mississippi. He said over there in Mississippi, where he grew up with no plumbing. None. Now that's Zion right now in the truth right now. Not in the 60s. Zion right now, he grew up with no plumbing. There are people in Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas with no plumbing in the richest country on the planet. In South Carolina, they walk out to a place in the woods where you better watch where you walk when you go out there to go to the bathroom. That's where they're at right now. And you're telling me that you'll raise someone from that soil, from that environment. They'll get rich. And when they get money, they spend it in Ghana. They don't give anything to Mississippi. They give nothing to Alabama, nothing to Arkansas. This is why, Haas, because I'm going to take you up a notch. Rich blacks and Latinos, they don't just not care about blacks and Latinos. They hate them.
Yeah.
And it's a psychological hatred that comes from hating yourself and hating the association you have with something so dirty. It's like a part of you that you want to get rid of. You know you came from Mississippi, and they just told me in the chat room that Emmitt Smith, the famous football player, he said he grew up in a house with dirt floors, Mayak, in the house. Now understand that. The home had dirt floors. You hate that once you get rich and go around white people. You don't just not care about it. You hate the fact that you live there. It makes you feel dirty that you even come from there. You're embarrassed by it. And that makes them want to spend their money in Ghana. And Ghana is Wakanda in the mind of black people. This Wakanda now has become Ghana. You know, Wakanda is an imaginary place, but Ghana is real. Oh, and Akon said, come here. Akon said it. We can all live our dreams in Ghana, and I can forget those dirt floors in Florida. I can forget about it. I can forget about what it felt like. I can forget about the poverty. It is internalized racism. It is a psychological disorder, and we have it. Let me show you somebody that has it. Play the video. You want to speak first? Yeah, you may. Go ahead.
What you just said was so heavy. When you said, we go over there and we try to forget, I thought about Meek Mill going over there trying to forget and got robbed, got beat up, chased in the venue, and then said after all that happened to him, I still want to sign an artist from Ghana.
It's not. It's okay. It's so you could do 2 hours on this, right? But the psychological damage that has happened from us being oppressed in America is so deep and so profound and so lasting. The effects of Jim Crow, the effects of the oppression, of the psychological abuse. Once again, my kids came back from seeing this week my Avatar 2. Who saw that movie? I didn't see any of it. And I asked my kids, when they came back, I said, was it a Tarzan movie? They said, who's Tarzan? I said, you'll find out. I said, who is the main lead character? I said, was he a blue person or was he really a white man who just became a blue person last week? They said a white man that just became a blue person last week. I said, who was the best blue person? Who was the king of all blue people? Who was a better alien than the aliens? My kid said, the white man who just became an alien. I said, that's Tarzan. That's in the UPK, we call that a Tarzan movie. Yeah. Meaning a movie where a white man walks into a room and he is a better monkey than the monkeys. He's a better African who lives with monkeys than the Africans who live with monkeys for every generation in all time. And that's Avatar. That's The Last Samurai. That's every movie. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because as you lived on dirt floors and you didn't have a plumbing in your house and you had roaches and rats in your home, and as you had to shake out your shoes every morning because there were roaches in your shoes, and the mice were eating your cereal. Puff Daddy said when he was young, he went to shake cereal in his face to eat some cereal, and his face was covered in roaches. That's a story Puff Daddy said. It's on the internet right now. As you, not only are you living that, but you're constantly having to be told that white people are better than you.
Yep.
And your face is covered in roaches.
Yep.
And mice are in your shoes. And you're walking to a bathroom that doesn't exist. And the combination of two, of the exalting of white people, and you living your life full of roaches and rats, it makes you hate your life.
Yep.
It makes you you hate it. You hate the fact that you're black. You hate the fact that you live here. And when you get money, you're not giving money to Mississippi, that garbage hole. You're giving money to a beautiful place, a wonderful place, a place that you didn't always hear about on the news and you weren't ashamed of. And that place is Ghana. And Ghana is so wonderful. And it's the new haven for all black money. Let me show you someone that has internal racism. And this is why Ghana gets money. And this is why Turkey is going to get $100 million. And Mississippi is not. And Juarez is not. And Sinaloa is not going to get $100 million. But Turkey is. And Turkey has about a quarter of the death that Sinaloa has. A quarter of the death that Harlem has. And that Chicago has. And Mississippi has. Do I have the deaths of black people during the COVID-19 virus? I thought we looked that up. Can I have it?
He did bring it out. He didn't bring a number. He just said it was in proportion.
If you have the number, I'll take the number.
He said it was in proportionate to everybody
Disproportionate.
else.
Yeah, I get that. But they got the number, I'm sure,
of
how many blacks and Latinos died during the COVID-19 virus. That's all, no problem. They can't get to a hospital.
I got one stat.
Go ahead, Maya.
This is per 100,000 people. White people were rated at 47. Black people were rated at 98. 98.
Somebody give me the number. If Alexa was up there, she'd tell me. Good. And the amount of black people that died during the COVID-19, that was 2 years. That's the COVID-19 epidemic. You'll get it. But let me see Michael B. Jordan when you get a chance. This is all about Turkey getting $100 million from America. That's all. And whenever you get upset that they're not spending it in your neighborhood, just remember, you wouldn't spend it there either.
Yep.
You'd give it to Ghana.
Yep.
Do we have Michael B. Jordan? What do you got there? What are you looking at? What was that other stat you had over there? I need some good numbers, though. I need the flat out number. If you don't have it, we'll keep moving until we get it.
COVID-19 monthly age adjusted deaths in the United States per 100,000 by race and ethnicity, April 20th to May 2022. Salaki. Blacks. Hold on, Salaki. There we go. So April, we were the highest in 2022.
If you don't have a number, I'll move on.
Kind of
I just need a number. I don't need that. I just need the actual number. No problem. I'll get it in 1 second. Let's go to Michael B. Jordan.
For any role that's written for African
Go ahead and play this.
I don't want to go out for any role that's written for African Americans. I want only like white males. That's it.
Play it again.
I don't want to go out for any role that's written for African Americans. I want only like white males. That's it.
Keep going.
I don't want to go out for any role that's written for African Americans. I want only like white males. That's it.
Again.
I don't want to go out for any role that's written for African Americans. I want only like white males. That's it.
You died. Did you hear what he said? Repeat what he said for everyone.
Sir. Michael B. Jordan said, I don't want any roles
I don't want to go out
written for African Americans, only roles written for white Americans.
Yeah, see, there was that one role that was written for African Americans. What role was that? Who wants to guess? That role he took. Blow my mind.
Creed.
Yeah, that's one. Creed is written for African American. Trooper, you got another one? Killmonger. Yeah. The only success this idiot has ever had is roles written for black people. You wouldn't even know who in the hell Michael B. Jordan was if not for him playing Killmonger in Black Panther.
Before then, the damn Wire.
Right.
Yeah. Let me help you. Michael B. Jordan is a terrible actor. I'm helping you out with acting, okay? He's atrocious. He's terrible. You might as well just read the script right in front of everybody. He's reading a script. The reason he's even famous is because he played on The Wire, which is a black boy from Baltimore selling drugs, and he played a black boy from Oakland in Wakanda. What's the name of the movie? Black Panther. Now that he's rich and famous, I will play no movies made for African Americans, only for white men. You know what that means, don't you? That means the brother who is writing movies for black people can't get Michael B. Jordan, which means if you're a black person writing a movie, you cannot. This is so ridiculous. I think about this. If you're a black writer or a black director or someone that wants to make movies, the only way you can get Michael B. Jordan to be in your movie is what? Is if you make a movie for white people. Mm-hmm. You have to make a movie for a white man to get Michael B. Jordan in the movie, because Michael B. Jordan only does movies for white men, even though the only way he even ever got famous is because he took black roles. Mm-hmm. That is internalized racism. He hates the fact that he had to go on The Wire. He can't stand it. He hates any time he had to play an African American. It makes him sick. He can't stomach it. He wants to be Tom Cruise. He don't want to be Michael B. Jordan. He wants to be Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise, and he wants to be Mel Gibson. It makes him sick. Listen, it's even worse for him that his only success came from playing a black person. It bothers him. So much so that he had to say it in this interview. Yeah. Don't even ask me. And you know what that means? Let me hurt your head a little more. What role would he definitely not take today? Come on. Let's give it a shot in the room. You die?
He wouldn't play Killmonger.
He would never play Killmonger. Ever. What's another role he would never take? He would never be in The Wire. Do you understand that black success is so sickening that if you're successful as a black person, you would never again be successful as a black person? Which I have to sit down for a minute to talk to somebody about that. Because you would think usually if you were successful playing black people, you would say, I love playing black people because that's where all my money comes from, playing black people. But being successful playing a black person makes you hate playing black people in movies. That has to be studied. Somebody got to look into that and see what that. I know I want to understand it. Why wouldn't you love playing black people, seeing that's where your entire life comes from, is playing black people, and that's why you're rich and famous, but it somehow you hate it. And you would never do the thing that you did to get famous. Make me understand. If somebody got the answer, I'm looking. Haas.
General, he did that movie called Without Remorse, right? The military movie with the Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
And they trashed him in that movie. It didn't get a lot of hits. It wasn't really out there.
Yeah. Nobody saw it.
Yeah, nobody really saw it. Nobody looked at it.
No.
But all these other ones here, about him playing them black roles, oh, they love that. Like, they love them roles. You know what I mean? It's based off of what you said. He got all that success being him. Yeah, how about Shema Shai Braksa?
I'm bugging off what you just dropped on the street. What? Appreciate that. Please continue. What? Good to see you, Jimmy.
Salam. I don't understand. You playing the Killmonger. You blew up. Your whole life is better. You played on The Wire, which led to the Killmonger.
Yes.
This is great. We having a good time. We rich. I don't ever play any black roles. Man, come on, man. Like what is that?
Like
what
just
does
like
it
you
mean?
said, man, that's so heavy what you said. And it's also why the so-called Jew wants to make sure that everybody in Hollywood has to go through him. It's like he got to be your God. Like he's probably getting so many calls from agents, and others they're saying, you ain't no real actor. You just play black roles. You know what I mean? You're not a real actor. You know, go ahead.
I was thinking of some Hollywood trauma. Some Hollywood, them big wigs in Hollywood, they good job, wonderful job with The Wire, Wakanda, this and that. Like, you know, you ain't
Tom Cruise.
You know,
you're
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like we could thank Kanye West for this as much. We could thank him for really peeking back the curtain and letting us see what's going on in the entertainment world. They was controlling his whole life. The guy who was one of his personal assistants or trainer was some Israeli Mossad agent living in Canada or from Canada. So they controlling their whole life. So I could imagine how much they're humiliating this cat for success, for his success. It's damn near psychological warfare. It's damn near you become successful. So it's like you ain't really, they got to lower you now in Hollywood. They got to get you up under them so-called Jews. They don't want you to get, too puffed up, beat your spirit down. It's crazy, man. And of course, because he don't come from the right background, the I.S.U.P.K, he's fooled by it. He's humiliated by it, and he's so humiliated by it that the first chance he get, he let the world know, I ain't part of this nigga thing y'all trying to put me in. I only want roles from white men. It's damn near like they so vile in Hollywood that they change your whole spirit when you become successful. You know what else they do too? Another good point y'all brought out earlier, a couple months back, is also too, is they tell them actors that straight, you're not a real actor unless you can play a homosexual, even though you're not. It's damn near like if you can't kiss a man in the mouth, how can you call yourself a real actor?
That's right.
1 second, bro. How can you call yourself a real actor? You can't really do it because you're not willing to play a role that's so opposite who you are. So you really not good. And because of it, every brother go out there and put a dress on. And it's vile, man. It's horrible. It's just like you said, man, it's such a psychological damage to us. Once again, every nation, if I could divert for just a pinch, I watched that protest of those so-called Jews over there in Israel. They protesting because of that new law they trying to make. They got a new law, brother. You about to see, we going into Third World War for sure. I don't want to divert, but the Israeli government is passing a law that the Congress can now override the judiciary. Before, like in the United States, if you got a dispute and it go to the Supreme Court, the judges decide
Like most democratic countries, the judges say, no, this is right according to the law, that's wrong. Well, they passing a law that the Congress can now take over overdo the judiciary, which means them politicians can do whatever they want. And if the judges say it's wrong, they can override the judges. Well, they said 60,000 so-called Jews was in that street, brother, raising hell, because they know that's the end of that. The minute they make that move, that's the end of democracy. And I looked at them, boy, and they were the reporters was going into them and saying, why are you out here? Why is this have you so upset? And they said, this is the country I live in. My father's died here. My mother's died here. My cousins fought these wars and died here. This is where we live. We don't want them to turn it into a dictatorship so they can go and bomb all the Arab countries and bring more war. We want a democracy in here. And brother, I'm watching them. Now, this ain't even their land. They know they stole this land. The Arabs is right there. The motherfuckers they stole it from, it sit right there. Excuse my French. So, and I said, but boy, the love and loyalty they have for their nation. Like, that's not in Michael P. Jordan. No. Like, he don't have that, which is why it's so easy to make him he'll just go, you give him $1 million and I don't want no black robe. He probably don't go out with no black women no more. You kidding? He probably don't go to no parties with too many black people. He gonna do everything that so-called Jew tell him to do to be brainwashed to never do it again. And that's why, once again, man, myself, and I know y'all the same, I'm sickened with the fact that this truth is not in more people. It sickens me that it's like having bars of gold and saying to everybody, listen, man, why don't y'all come get some of this gold? We could all eat good. We could do wonderful. And the masses is just like, man, we hungry, nigga. We don't want to hear that. I got gold. I got gold right here. Come get some. That's how I feel to me in this truth. Like, you trying to get our people to see, man, we got the goal, we got the plan. But a lot of our people are so destroyed. And that brother is like, just like you said, he wanted them, brother, that you give up your soul. Like that joint is true. You get up there with them, you got to give up your soul. You can't just be an actor. You got to hate your own enough. And brother, no man is supposed to be required. And no man is except us. There's no other man in the earth that got to say he hate his people except black people. You the only one required. Listen, East Indians, Asians, all of them, they become comedians and they get on the stage and they crack jokes about their own, Arabs, all of that. But if you step to them outside of that and say, well, say some old foul stuff about them, they'll be like, hold up, I might crack jokes about them, but those are my people. That's right. That's my land. That's my heritage. And this is why the Lord is the most merciful being in the universe. Because here's the thing. Every nation, just like pedigree dogs, every nation on this earth automatically is bred in them to care for their nation. That's right. Nobody has to teach them. Don't nobody have to say, we got to love East Indians. You don't hear no politicians saying that. You don't hear no Arab saying, we got to love Arabs. You don't hear that. No. You don't hear none of that. It's built in them. But there's one people that's not built in. And boy, only the mercy of the Lord could they have ever survived. We would never, ever survive on this planet at all. We'd have to go to another planet. We'd have to start a colony on Mars. We'd have to become meteorite workers and start a colony on a goddamn meteorite if we ever wanted to survive, because we could never survive, because we would give ourselves up overnight. But only through the mercy of the Most High and the prophets of the Lord. That's why you brothers sitting in this room, y'all are gold. Damn right. And so many more throughout this entire nation, because without us, without you pushing up against this place, everything would live. You had the whole damn conscious community all believing in Egypt. All of them know they ain't tied to Egypt at all. But they'll give up their identity and all became Egyptians. If Mubarak, one of them said, my black brothers that believe in Egypt, come home, you niggas would have gone. We'd have looked at what happened in the conscious community? Oh, they in Egypt. Did it to the West Indians. Yeah. West Indians, Haile Selassie, Jah Rastafari. What happened? Them niggas went to Ethiopia.
That's it.
And the Ethiopians damn near ate them. The Ethiopians was so poor, them niggas almost became food. Niggas hopped the boat and got out of town quick. And the same with right or wrong. And it's what you saying is like it's all that should be talked about. Would you know what I'm saying? It's what's wrong with us. There are things that should be in us that's not in us. And Lord knows these scriptures is how you get them back in you and how we got them back in us and how we got our real pride back on who we are. I be jealous, man. I seen them Israelis pro. I'm sitting in there. I'm like, I had to give it to them. Like they flip, they ready to tear their country apart over them changing laws on who gonna run this, how we gonna run this country. That's people that care. You know what I mean? That's people that care. And you made such a good analogy. Sorry to run on. I'm just coming in, y'all. But you made such a good analogy when you said how they play Wakanda in the schools and how you broke down how this is the place that there ain't no crime. There ain't no bad taste in the mouth. It ain't no stigma. You could love this place and say, yes, this is my home. But it's fictitious. And it has to be fictitious because where your real home is, you will not fix that home. You're going to hate that home because that slave master hate that home. Since he hated, just like Michael P. Jordan, he hate that home, you hate that home. So you never want to fight and stand for that home. And boy, oh boy, a prophet of God. When the Lord said, I shall make a man more precious than fine gold, y'all prophets of the Lord, get ready because I don't know if we're doing it tonight, but I got to tell you, brother, I watched this news this weekend. We going to war. This country right here is, I mean, we this close. We close. And I said this a while back. I said, I'm going to get up off and let y'all get back on the program. But I said this a while ago, man, that wait for the signs of the countries outside of these two countries and let's see where they at. China is talking about aligning itself, and it said clearly with military support, okay, with military support to the Ukraine. Biden just got off the plane from going to Ukraine. Now, you know, for him to fly in a war zone where they don't control the airspace, no U.S. soldiers on the ground, that means he only relying on submarines. For him to go all the way to Ukraine with just them nuclear submarines, that means they want that land back. Which means they getting locked in, just like the scripture said, that they being drawn into this thing. And now Iran is saying they're going to send weapons. You know what that means. The minute the Israelis switch that parliament, they're going to bomb every one of their enemies. The minute because they know they can't do it now because they know the people are going to go crazy. So they're going to flip the law and go up in there, brother, and kill them Arabs. Better get ready. Because they get ready to go up in there, man, and kill all the Arabs around. We going to this thing. I'm telling you, we going there. You know what I'm saying? So, Locke, I had to get up. So, just to go back to what you said is so right. You know, man? Because if I could, last point, that is why we can't get together and fix up. Like, because the Michael P. Jordans of this world will easily just flip on you. You know what I'm saying? They'll just flip on you. We were just talking about Judas the other day. Just like that. Boop. So, Locke you.
Man.
Damn, most right. Damn right.
He died. There's some good Third World War stories too. I don't think we have them. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Mm-hmm. You should find that story if we could. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a congresswoman, I think from South Carolina. I'm not sure, but she said this week that she wants to have she thinks that red states should have natural divorce with blue states. Now, natural divorce is a TikTok way to say killing him, meaning, you know, that's the way the marriage ends naturally.
Yes,
the husband is dead.
Yeah, yes,
and she's a congressman, a congresswoman, and that was all over the news out because that type of rhetoric that hasn't happened for a long, long time. Where they talk about killing each other, and this is how it was before the Civil War. Well, historians, the Civil War just didn't pop up and they went to war. It was constant talking about, you know, killing each other and fighting each other and what they're not going to have. And then one day they killed each other. And it's marching towards that. And this week, Switzerland vowed to start their military and to help the
Ukraine.
And Switzerland, brother, for my life, is the total peace-lovingest place on the planet.
Yes.
And Switzerland has started their military, and they're going to have a military now and send it over there to help the Ukraine. And for sure, that Israeli thing is about, bombing everybody and going to war. And for sure, America is beginning to divide.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to kill each other and fight each other in America and take over the rest of the world. The Third World War is definitely on its way. You can find this is all over the news, this story right here. Go ahead.
Marjorie Taylor Greene called for a national divorce between liberal.
Let me see it. Put it up on the screen again so I can check it out. Con, go ahead.
Marjorie Taylor Greene calls for a national divorce between liberal and conservative states.
Keep reading.
that's Civil War talk.
Go ahead.
We need to separate by red states and blue states and shrink the federal government.
Now, they did that one time.
Yes, they did.
That was called the Civil War.
God.
And it's the same states.
Yeah.
It's the exact same states. All the southern states were against the northern states. And they did it. And she won, and she's a congresswoman, which means people think the same way.
Yeah.
They believe what she's saying is true, and they should do it, and they should separate from them. And this idea gains ground like it gained it in the 1800s.
Yeah.
It began to become a groundswell of support for it. And the people from the South feel violated.
Yeah.
When that happens, is when they start feeling like you're infringing on them, and what they like and what they want to do, and damn near like slavery isn't so much slavery. You're interfering in how they handle things.
Yeah,
like they want to treat black people like this. Who are you to try to stop them? They feel up in the North, damn near the North feels like they're helping black people,
right?
But in the South, they feel like you're violating their rights.
Yes.
And who?
And they used to say it back then. We'll handle our Negroes how we want to handle them.
Yeah.
You know, man. You outsiders. They used to call them outsiders.
Agitators.
Outside
agitators.
Outside agitators. Yeah, like you was coming in starting something and creating a problem. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people died. I think 200,000 people, 600,000 people died.
Go
ahead.
And this been brewing, General, like in 1919, it's a woman named Mildred Rutherford. You know, she was a prominent member of this organization back then called the Daughters of the Confederacy, United Daughters of Confederacy. And they pushed the campaign. That's why all them Confederate statues is all over America. And they wanted to bring back the South, and they didn't want them old men who fought in the war. They was dying off. So she wanted to push that spirit still and keep it in America. And they was cutting off books just like they're doing now, stopping books. Any book that said the Southerners were traitors got out the schools. And these women, this group, they were mainly teachers, teaching all the kids the Southern way, the Confederate way. The blacks were happy. Slavery was a wonderful thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they pushing that same thing now. Like the South then took over. They're in the government, you know what I mean, and pushing that same sentiment.
Dang.
Just to bring that Civil War spirit back. You know what I mean?
And if I could, sir, it is like, okay, people don't talk about it, but the entire union is so tenuous and fragile anyway that they never really wanted to come together. And they've been just trying to do things to placate to each other, even the way they put Washington, D.C. in Virginia. That was on purpose because of the South, because they wanted to put people in the South to have the capital in the South, to try to, in one way, say, the South, you're part of America, and to occupy Virginia, to occupy Maryland, to have federal troops down there in Virginia,
make sure they don't cross that line.
make sure they don't cross that line, because the whole thing was always fragile. And the civil rights movement exposed the fragileness of the American Union. And then here we go again, because they never wanted to come together in the first place, period. But everyone made money, and over the years they began to just find the statues helped, because they could have giant statues of Robert E. Lee. That helped to quell down that Southern anger.
Land grabs,
the Confederate flag flying over countries. If they didn't let those flags wave, they probably would have fought years ago.
Yeah.
But they let them fly the Confederate flag over South Carolina,
Yeah.
have statues of Confederate murderers, and that kept down that feeling of we should just rebel again.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? There are no more Confederate flags waving anywhere.
Statues coming
The
down.
statues are down. You can guess what's next. Oh, you ain't got to be a genius to know what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Guns is next.
Yes, next. Obviously.
Some guns is next.
Yes. They put those statues up for a reason.
Yeah.
Those statues went up in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Because they were angry that black people got from up under Jim Crow and they got the right to vote. And those statues saved lives. Like damn near Edomites, our oppressor is so evil. You have got to give him something, or else he'll take it all.
Yeah.
You almost got to say, well, I'll let you have statues of Confederates and I'll put the Confederate flag over the State House. I'll let you oppress these Negroes in this town.
Yeah.
You can kill them, lynch them.
Yeah.
If they can't lynch anybody, they want to lynch everybody.
Yeah.
And white people from the North know you gotta damn near let them abuse some black people.
Yeah.
You gotta just give them the people in Mississippi. Let them have them. Let them hurt them. Because if you say you cannot oppress people in Mississippi,
Right. God forbid they had to go get a job.
Listen, if they can't
work
hurt
like
somebody,
everybody else, right?
oh, then everybody gets hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's damn
They
war.
interviewed some of them Southerners back then when the soldiers were protecting the slaves from the north.
Yeah.
When they were stationed down there, they said, "So what do you think about what's going on with the soldiers being here?" He said, "Well, they ain't gonna always be here. They're gonna have to leave at some time, and we'll get our stuff back." Like they were never happy with that loss, you know what I'm saying? And they wanted it back. So
They just saw it like they was gonna go. That once they gone, they gonna go kill every nigga in sight, and they did. That Klan, the Klan went and was lynching like it was all right.
You die? Okay. I got another video I just sent you to your die on this topic though. If you have it, go ahead. Sorry. Please.
I found an article on what you said about China and Ukraine.
Yeah. China and Russia coming together. Yeah, there it is. Like they laying out a real roadmap to war.
Why China stand on Russia and Ukraine is rising concerns. Nearly 1 year after Russia invaded Ukraine, new questions are rising over China's potential willingness to offer military aid to Moscow in the increasingly drawn out conflict.
Military aid. You know what I'm saying? And if I could, real quick, and Americans are stupid as hell, because let me tell you something. Believe it or not, that Joe Biden is a damn good president during this war shit and stuff. Right? I mean, the fact that he dropped down in Ukraine, and not only that, when Russia invaded, he organized the entire Europe. He brought Europe all together, got them armed up, brought Finland and Switzerland into NATO, about to be in the NATO. He got them weapons moving, the grain coming. I mean, his administration, he a far cry from dumbass Trump. Like he a far cry. But of course, they so politically galvanized on both sides, they can't even tell or even care. You know what I'm saying? But if they knew what they ought to know, that they got a cat that know, and he ain't scared of Putin either. For him to do what he's doing, he openly sending them weapons. He ain't even scared of Putin. And they are damn near nuclear superpower. But he ain't even worried about them. So they got the best. If they'd have had Trump in there for these 4 years, oh, forget it. Russia be done owned Florida.
Early, is China supporting Ukraine or Russia?
Russia.
Okay.
China. I hope I didn't misspoke. China is now getting ready to back Russia in their war with Ukraine. So they setting the stage. You got Iran, Russia, you got now China involved, and every one of these are biblically correct in this third world war. And it's heating up. More countries are talking. Now the Israelis is taking the gloves off. Once they pass this law, they free to be the animals that they love to be. And they're going to kill like you ain't never seen them kill. Them Palestinians, they got a sad day coming. Because them cats right there is getting ready to get it. And not just them. There's a lot of other enemy states around them. And not only that, here's what they know they need. The Israelis know they need oil. You can't fight a war without oil. You got to have oil, direct oil, for you to fight a war. And they know they need that. And there's a lot of Arab states sitting around full of gold and trinkets. And, you know what I mean? Dubai and all of them. And they partying and having a good time. And them Israelis sitting around looking like, damn, they awfully rich off that oil. You know what I mean? We do got nukes over here. You know what I mean? So in a minute, boy, you about to see it get, good. Go ahead, Marah.
I got a story to back you up. And this one, I know some brothers are not old enough, but this story I'm about to bring out now has not happened in 50 years.
We will not be.
Oh, this is the excellent one, too. This is to back up the other point about Edomites in the South.
Yeah.
But if I could, give me the other one about Russia. What Commander General is bringing out is because Biden, the president in America, went to Kyiv, which is in the Ukraine.
Right.
He went to the Kyiv this week, and on Russian TV, they discussed killing Biden while he was in Kyiv.
Damn.
Killing him. And brother, now, okay, y'all, they might be kids. There ain't been talk like that. Good Lord. Since the 50s?
Yeah, since the Cold War.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to, it didn't happen in the 80s.
Yeah.
Didn't happen in the 70s. Didn't happen in the 60s.
Yeah.
You got to go back to the 50s.
When they
where
talk
people
like that.
talked about, we're going to kill the president of America. On this Russian talk show.
Damn.
They're saying Russian came to Kyiv. Why didn't we kill him in Kyiv?
Damn.
And the Russian minister of defense got interviewed and said, well, we could have killed him, but if we didn't kill him to avoid nuclear war. You got to go back to the 1950s
to hear that.
Yeah. We're close. Like, this is coming around right on time, right where it needs to be. I got it right here.
God.
Please, Marah.
Come on. Damn right.
I said, I'm watching the show. I said, God damn. Took my glasses off, man. I do this shit like this here. They said, why didn't you kill him? I said, what? What? I know I should have been prepping like GEN.YAHANNA said. GEN.YAHANNA said I need to be prepping. I'm sitting right here chilling, going to the gym.
We got a little time.
GEN.YAHANNA got a rubber gun, generators,
meat stock.
I'm sitting right here in the gym. Lifting weights for what?
I've been talking about generators for years. They got one yet.
He said that's the GEN.YAHANNA was right. I'm sitting right here messing around.
It's gonna happen. Like we right here. Like Salam, right here.
Yeah, what you saying?
Yeah. Listen, the Edomites, they preparing. You know what I mean? They are preparing like I can't even explain. You know what I mean? Like it's like this place is going south. It's going down. You know what I mean? And like you said, man, thank the Most High. Christ's kingdom gonna reign. The world gonna change. We won't be victimized ever again. Like it's gonna get right after this, but it's gonna get worse before it get right. It's gonna get worse, and black people better get ready for these nations in America, because these nations in America hate you. Them East Indians, the Arabs, everybody. They the so-called Jew. They got nobody else to blame. You know what I'm saying? Like they all came here to rob you and be successful. What they don't understand is when they came to rob you, America robbed them. And so now they mad that they don't have a piece of the pie. And they gonna hate you. And then and the worst thing for blacks, West Indians, Latinos, Native Indians, the worst thing for you in this time is to not have a love and unity among your own. Because these heathens are gonna exploit it and do so much to you. It's gonna be shameful. Salakia, what are you?
You die? Salakia.
Russia's flagship talk show 60 Minutes discussing Joe Biden's trip to Kyiv. The host, Olga Skabeva, asks if Russia had guaranteed his safety, and if so, why. We could have killed Biden, but that would have been too much, her guest replies. We spoke to Sergei Markov, a one-time advisor to President Putin, just after he came off the show.
That's the, so like you keep playing it.
Washington made contacts with Russia before the visit to avoid nuclear war. It was about not killing President of the United States, Joe Biden, from Russian rocket missiles.
Because this would have meant potential nuclear war if anything had happened to him.
Yes, one of the possibility of the killing President of the United States or President of Russia, that it can lead to the nuclear war.
I can't believe they're talking
No
about
comment
this.
yet from the Kremlin, but this is a weak hack.
Yo, that is.
They're like, well, why didn't you kill him? Like, you should have killed him.
Yes.
You could have sent a rocket and just killed him.
Yeah.
Why didn't you? Well, because we was trying to avoid nuclear war. We ain't want to have nuclear war. The Russian people was like, come on, man, you should have killed him down there.
I mean,
and that's political pressure.
Yes.
To kill him.
Yes.
And then what happens? You know what happens.
Oh my God. Them old Trident submarines sitting down under that water, brother. Something gonna come out that water you have never seen before in your life. And we gonna be looking for the ships there.
I mean, that's a long time. But the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Yes.
I mean, we're talking a long time before those words are spoken.
Yes.
A long time.
Like
I mean, damn.
Like you don't just threaten the president of the United States on your national television before the world and act like you ain't gonna be no retaliation, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot. You can best believe it's gonna be a problem in about a second. Which once again, this is more proof, like you saying, that they getting locked in. They getting, you know what I'm saying? They trapped. They getting trapped in the thing, and they not gonna be able to get out because that's I never even heard about it. I never even knew they even said something like that. This is we going to war.
Oh yeah,
it's going, and now China is getting in it, which means now China is going to fight the U.S. in other ways.
Oh yeah,
and everything that you have, the Chinese make. So everything. So whatever you start seeing shortages, you're gonna know it's coming. It's because of China. Because everything you got, every pencil, every fork, everything you have, the Chinese make. So it's gonna be crazy.
You know, even just some of that military stuff. You know, Holosun, that optic that everybody using on their firearm now, Holosun, is made by China.
See that? See that? Is they make, I mean, damn near everything that we use in everyday life. You know what I mean? Harbor Freight, that ain't nothing but Chinese. You know, everything in there come from the Chinese.
And TikTok.
And TikTok.
I saw a video. It was propaganda video, but it had a big ass classroom full of them Asian kids taking apart guns and putting them back together. I said, damn, all of them had the same little military uniform. They were 7, looked like they were 7.
Wow.
Taking apart guns and putting them back together. And I said, damn, look at it.
Yeah, like they preparing them from young. They said right now they started training. They training the citizens in Taiwan because they worry about China invade. Whoever take over Taiwan is going to rule the world, or start a nuclear war. Because Taiwan make the most powerful chips in the planet. And they need them for the military weapons. So they think Taiwan gonna be invaded by China. So they training them too. They training. Who else is training? It was another country that was training like hell. I forget what country it is, but they training like hell. Like the Lord said, prepare war, uncover the thigh, let the mighty man be awakened. This thing is about to get beautiful. In about 2 seconds. So look, I mean to divert us off.
You can play the last video. This is a video from the South during the Civil War, during the Civil Rights.
We will not be
Go ahead.
coerced into hiring any colored person, regardless of his qualifications, as a matter of duress or as a matter of expedience.
When the Negro can prove to the white man that he can live like the white man, then we will accept them.
And the only thing that scares me is the neighborhood all getting bad. And if we ever wanted to sell, naturally your house depreciation is how it get in.
If they move in, the next step we have to accept is intermarriage.
We can be sociable with them in work. We can get along with them and joke with them.
Sure.
But when we leave our job and close the door and then we're on our way home, we want them to go in their direction and we can go in ours.
Mariah, play the first one. That's perfect. Play the first scene. If you want to know where poverty comes from, it's right here.
And can I just say something before you play it too? Let me tell you something. What that white woman just said is right. Like civil rights workers hated those statements. Yeah. But that was so right. Like we would be a nation right now had that been able to be enforced. Like it was so like you're gonna force another nation, not just any nation, but a nation that had you in slavery and hates you. You're gonna force them to love you, man. You're gonna force them to accept you. You're gonna sit up there and let them talk on the news and say, if you do A, B, and C, then we'll accept you. Why the hell you don't reject them like they rejected you?
Right.
Why don't you require something out of them like they're trying to require it out of you?
Right.
If we had never listened to Martin Luther King, if we had if we had just continued doing what we were doing, then guess what? We would have had war with Esau and we would have our own country because you would have had to have war because the Tulsa, Oklahomas and all of those different things, those came because we prospered. We came up and their jealousy and their envy for seeing us come up is what infuriated them. Like they said, they didn't want us next to them. So much so that even when we prospered on our own and didn't need them, they still turned around and then went and killed and destroyed and burned down our cities. Now, had they done that and we had not joined them, that had not been our solution, we would have had war with them long before they had more weapons than we did. And guess what? We would, just like the South and the North have their conflict, we would have just been the black and the white. Yeah. You understand? And guess what? And we would have allowed every Arab and every Asian and every East Indian and every African to come into our neighborhoods and get rich off of us. You think that those black leaders from Tulsa, Oklahoma, who were making so much money from black people, and they said it, if I could real quick, they said they made so much money in Tulsa, Oklahoma because they had a captive audience. Black people couldn't go to white people. So they turned around and made all the money among blacks. Blacks got rich, had hotels, had apartment buildings, man, skyscrapers with apartments in it. And they were making money and everything. And then guess what? White people got jealous of it and came and burnt it down. And what did we do? Instead of us saying, yo, we ain't gonna never let this happen again, we said, let's join them. Let's forget our businesses and we'll join them. What idiots we was. And because of it, guess what? We don't have nothing now. Now every nation is picking the bones off of us when we would have been strong. And again, black leaders, if black leaders control the economy of your city, then guess what? They're not letting no heathens come in there and eat off of your city. They're going to be like, no, we don't want them in here. We don't want them in, just like whites did. Whites didn't want blacks taking over businesses that they had. They said, nah, y'all go set up your own businesses. That's what would have happened. But guess what? That's what the other nations did. The East Indians has got who working in their stores? East Indians. The Arabs got who working in them chicken joints? Arabs. Chinese got who working in their Chinese businesses? Chinese. You understand? Where are you working at? Under everybody else. When if you had kept yours, you would be strong. Where's that scripture at? That you might be strong. You know the one.
That you might be strong.
884.
Is that it? The Lord said to do something that you might be. You know what? You know the one. This scripture right here. This should be on a plaque on the floor as you bend over to pray. You should bend over and look down at this plaque with this scripture on it that the Lord said. I'm giving it to you now. Like this scripture right here is like what nation begs another nation? What nation sits around and lets another nation tell them what they have to do to be accepted? And listen, and the white man didn't even act like, he was like, when blacks learn prove, when blacks prove that they can live like white people, then we'll accept them. Not when blacks prove they can live civilized, not when blacks show us that their society is on the level with ours. No, when they learn to live like we live, when they learn to give up being black, and that's the arrogance of these slave masters. Was so arrogant with it. And we were such a fool. Martin Luther King was such a fool, and they used him and still use him to this day. Used him like a dumb hoe and still use him to this day. You got it? That's a good precept. It is. Most High in Christ. Let's break this out, man. This is so, you know what I mean? Like, once again, man, I realized, boy, the Lord, when he make you jealous, woo, I stay jealous over this nation. I'm jealous. And I got no problem admitting I am a jealous ass nigga over this nation. I don't like nobody else having better than us and treating us. And listen, and the worst part is, it's like, it's so unjust because we better. You know what I mean? It's like having a baseball team and you benching the best player just because you don't like him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't care if the whole team lose, long as that player don't get to play. Nah, that ain't right, Go ahead, read that for me.
First Ezra chapter 8 and verse 84. Therefore now shall ye not join your daughters unto their sons. Neither shall ye take their daughters unto your sons.
Go ahead.
Verse 85.
You're not supposed to, man. Go mix up your people and dilute your people and not stand up when another nation is hating your guts out of you. The water. Is that the same?
85 is what you want.
Okay, go ahead. I'll give it to him. You shall what?
Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them.
You shall never seek to have peace with them. For you to have peace with another nation, they got to respect you, your boundaries, your way of life, your laws, your culture, your ideas, your land. They got to respect you. Otherwise, don't never seek to have no peace with them, man. Go ahead,
That ye may be strong.
That what?
That ye may be strong.
Now listen, if you want to know why you weak as hell as a people, there it is. It's clear as a bell. You are making peace with the people who hate you, who want to use your sons and daughters. How the hell you gonna have a Popeye's chicken in every black neighborhood and they run by the East Indians? And the East Indians hate you. And they hate you. Oh, they cordial in the restaurant, they making money. Go run into them in the Walmart or run into them in the Home Depot. They nasty as hell. They spit on the floor. If you ever see an East Indian spit on the floor as he walks past you, that's a sign of disrespect that they do in India. That's like F you. Like, they do it all the time. They walk past you and they'll spit on the ground. You be wondering why the hell he's spitting on the floor in the middle of the store. It's because he's disrespecting you. I spit right back. Salakia. See what I'm saying? I turn around and spit it down. Not at him, but you get my point. But I spit on the floor back because I know what it means. You know what I mean? But they do it all the time. It's a subtle way, it's a slimy, subtle way of saying, you know, I hate you. You know what I mean? And racism, again, here's the thing. They darker than us over there in India. And they racist against us like you ain't never even seen. They racist as hell against us over there in India. Meanwhile, they darker than us. You know what I mean? And they in a slimy way. You go over there in India, if you black and you in India, yo, they'll bump you in the train or push past you. They do nasty. They got a nasty way of being that they do stuff. They don't do it so directly. They don't come out and, you know, call you a nigga or something like Esau would do. But they do it in a nasty way. Push past you coming on or through the train, you know what I'm saying, or on the plane or something like that. Yeah. They're nasty with it. And so these nations don't love us. And the Lord said, you ain't supposed to just make peace with them. And then what? Now you be weak. And that's what makes us weak. And it makes me jealous. I'm jealous as hell that we don't have the wherewithal. That's why I don't respect no black leader. I barely respect you, you black leaders, you preachers. I barely even look at you with a modicum of any, you know, respect at all, because you don't have the heart or the soul or even I take the jealousy, you know what I'm saying, or the competition. Am I wrong? To at least say, you know, we shouldn't let them do whatever they want to do to us. You just a sap. Anybody can buy you. Just give you a few dollars and you'll, you know, like Michael B. Jordan, the hell, don't give me no role for black people. You'll just, meanwhile, Africans is in Hollywood talking about our lives. If you are a young black girl in America, just look at me and know that you could have a future. I'm looking at you and know that you can't even talk. Meanwhile, you telling me about how my little girl, and you know what I'm saying, and trying to steal the idea of what we went through in this country. You understand? Like you got it going on in your country. It's just, listen, it make me sometimes I'll be so mad I don't know what to do with myself. So lock it. Go ahead, you die. It's a lock it.
I was the same way this weekend. I'm sitting there trying to watch the All-Star game. And the whole All-Star game, they had an African line. They had Burna Boy, Rema, and Tim. All three of them are from Nigeria.
See that?
Headline the All-Star game. And I'm proud of Israel on Twitter, sir. One brother said it. He got a lot of retweets. He said, oh, this is the special stage presence that Akon was talking about. Being bland. They compared it to Esau, sir.
That was tight.
Terrible halftime show.
You know, man. And here's the part that's so sad and scary about it. Now, you know, I ain't into sports, but I'm into this nation. And we bust our ass. Brothers got injured. Some got killed, had heart attacks. Recently, the young boy had to build up the NBA, to help them Edomites get rich. And now, if they ever find another nation that could dribble a ball as good as you can forget about it. They're going to get rid of you because once again, that other nation, they ain't going to rebel against them because they got their own country. But they know that you will stand up against it, so they want to get rid of you. And brother, it's just once again, like the Lord don't require us to live a loser's life. You know what I mean? That's why I always, through the grace and mercy of the Most High, I always did my own thing in this nation. I always rolled with the nation, and I didn't give a damn if we joined or worked together or dealt with stuff. I didn't give a damn. I just trusted in the Most High. We don't bend to nobody. We don't have to tie to nobody. We ain't nobody gonna make us bend because you giving us nothing.
Right.
Don't give it, keep it.
Right.
We'll get it eventually ourselves.
Right.
We ain't got to bend to you.
Right.
We ain't bending on no fake Israelites.
Right.
Your little compromise, your little SHALAM or whatever it is you dealing with.
Right.
We ain't bending on nothing. Okay? You old Christians, Muslims, all of you. I don't care what you dealing with. We not bending on it.
Damn
we standing on the Most High, brother, and this is how we ride, because guess what? If you ain't got the wherewithal to identify your nation, find out who they are, and put them first. Listen, I even give Farrakhan some props every once in a while. The brothers can't stand it. But sometimes I give him for this reason, because at least Farrakhan kept it black. At least Farrakhan didn't turn into no Arab thing. I know the brothers like, yeah. He took on that. Listen, he dead wrong. He dead wrong for taking on that Arab book. Y'all right about that. And he know we the chosen. And he wrong for doing that. But damn, at least he kept it black. I'll just give him that. But other than that, forget about us in terms of any philosophy or idea or nothing, man. I'm not going to no Arab for God. Nigga, is you crazy? I'm not going to no other nation for God.
That's right.
How dare you even ask me to go worship a God from another nation when I've been in slavery under these other nations? And I'm going to go to their God to help me? I'm not doing that, man.
That's right.
I'm not doing that. And I know that Christ don't require that we do it, especially when I open up the book and find out the people in the book are black, and you want me to go to somebody else's God. I'm not doing that, man.
Right.
You can keep that. You can, how the young boy say, you can miss me on that. You understand? You can, yeah, man. You can miss me on that. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes me jealous, man, that we don't, be strong. And be strong. And like you brought out earlier so right when you said, you better love those, you better love that barrio. You better love that hood. You better love that. That's why they get gentrified, because gentrification ain't nothing but thievery. And you can steal what nobody values. Don't nobody get mad at you for picking up the trash. They thank you for picking up the trash. But if that trash bucket was filled with gold and you went and touched that trash bucket, then somebody would be mad as hell, saying, why the hell you touching that gold? And the same go for the ghetto. If you think it's trash and there's nothing to it, then everybody will steal it. But if you know this is the legacy of your people and what they suffered, then you would value it gold. And you really would value it gold if you understood that it wasn't us that did this. You look at that ghetto and that hood and that suffering that you went through, that wasn't just you. That was the man that enslaved you for 4 millennia. That's who that was. Blame him and go build what's righteous before the Lord. Salaki. Damn right. Damn right. Damn right. You know what I mean? You're there.
Bucks County team formerly charged.
Let's go get another one of these.
Yeah, you got to see this, sir. Sir, this happened in Philadelphia yesterday. A Philadelphia police officer was shot and murdered. Temple University police officer was shot and murdered. Temple, for the brothers out of state, in different states, Temple is a college in Philadelphia, and they have their own police force. Mm-hmm. Now, this week, a young Temple cop, he was like 31. He looked like a child. Let's get his picture up on the screen if we could. Ephraim, my brother, from the tribe of Ephraim, so-called Puerto Ricans. He was about 30 years old. Someone was being carjacked in a terrible neighborhood in North Philadelphia. Huh?
No, I was somewhere right there.
Okay, terrible neighborhood. This brother, who was a cop, went to stop the carjacking. And the carjacker shot him in the head. Howard, bring out the rest of it. You told me.
Yeah, well, yeah. If I could, sir, right? This is what happened. This young brother right here, was on patrol by himself. He seen him cat. They were doing a robbery. When they say something, try to stop him, chase him. The young cat turned around and shot him in the head, put him down. Then he went and stood over top of him and emptied some more inside of him in his face and his upper torso, right? While he was on the ground. Then he went into his pockets to try to take everything out of his pockets and try to take his service weapon off of him. He couldn't get the weapon off of him. Then to flee the area, they went and carjacked somebody, right? He carjacked somebody, got the carjacking, went to the upper part of North Philly, like 30th Street, ditched the car, called his mom. Mom came and got him and took him home.
And let me tell you where home is, sir. Bucks County, Pennsylvania. And stayed in a house that looked like Winterfell. That's this house that you'll see just now. For those of you that don't know about Bucks County, I guess the houses are what, $4 million?
Yeah.
You know, is that about right? About $4 million, $5 million houses. That's where this man was from. The murderer was a so-called white man, and he lived in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which is about as rich as you could imagine.
Yeah.
You know, it's about as rich as you could possibly imagine. That's the brother he killed right there. Looked like a child.
Put that up, Mariah.
Yeah.
And that's who killed him. Who stood over his body and pumped bullets into him. A disgusting thug, a criminal, a villain. Right here, who pumped bullets and who killed this poor police officer who was a piece of garbage and a thug and a criminal. And show me the house so I can show Commander General Yohana. Show me where they arrested him.
I know it had woods around it.
Brother,
It's probably a stream.
The drone got the picture up.
Right there. Yeah. Mariah, the house right there.
Show me the drone footage.
Yeah, the overhead footage. I know it. You know, them houses in Buck County, they got woods all around the house.
That ain't doing it no justice.
Yeah.
You got to see the top of it. You'll find
that probably ain't even the whole house.
Yeah, you got to, yeah, please. You got to see the whole top of this house.
I see another building
right behind. Yeah, that's the front yard of the damn house. Meaning this was a rich white boy. Rich beyond belief. Doing crime for the pleasure, I guess. That's all I could understand.
Get high, enjoy himself.
Yeah,
be in the jungle, kill, rob.
Joyride. Yeah, it's like a joyride, and stood over this poor brother's body, and pump more bullets into him, and then went to rob him.
And rob
You
a
can
cop?
steal his wallet.
I mean, who shoots a cop and robs him? I mean, you got every company take his gun and everything.
That's probably, you can play the video if you want.
And once again, probably in his life, then had so many run-ins with
Breaking news: Action News has learned a person.
nothing when you're wealthy. You know, to
Right.
them, with the white privilege.
And I'm gonna hit you something, and probably killed a lot of black people that you swear is another black person. Because listen, Philadelphia got a major problem with people getting shot in their cars, and I'm talking about random people, elderly people, all that. Like you'd be sitting in your car, and all of a sudden somebody come up and shoot you. You ain't selling drugs, you ain't buying drugs. The cops have no idea why somebody shot you, and of course, no footage, no, all them cameras, no footage.
You almost had it.
You know what I'm saying? Are you looking for it on the tape?
It's somewhere on there. Yeah, you can go ahead and serve you one.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like I've always wondered.
Look at this guy.
Look at that. Look at that there. Go back just a
to that
pinch.
picture. That's the house.
Just a pinch. No, back a little bit more on the drone. Yeah. Right before that. There. Look at that. Pause that. Look at that crib. Make it big if you could. Look at that crib. Look at that crib. Look at the lake. I did not say it was gonna be some water in there. It's a goddamn lake on the side of the damn house. You understand? That's farmland all the way to the left. They farming over there. Ooh. Tree lines, so you can't see the house. That's them double tree lines. And a tree line, a whole ridge line, and a frontage line on the right-hand side, and woods in the back. This cat probably been killing deer and stuff since he was a kid. They probably don't even go to the supermarket. They eat fresh fruits and vegetables, hunting all the meat they want. There's bears, lion, bobcats up there. They having a wonderful time, huh? A wonderful wonder. They in heaven up there. He don't see a Negro, but he wants some fun.
He comes down to North Philly to murder,
to kill and rob,
and not for money.
No, because he sure don't need it.
He don't need the money.
He can buy all the crack in Philly.
Right.
If I could, sir, this is the pleasure. And if I want to say one thing, the Bible said, "How do you know a prophet about the prophecies that he speak about?" Commander GEN.YAHANNA said this years ago about Esau coming down to the ghetto where they kill squads, wearing masks, do different things, hunting in the ghetto and killing Jake. A lot of robberies and shootings, you get flash descriptions of a light-skinned black male or a light-skinned male, Hispanic or something. It be that cat right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Him and his crew. He ain't by himself.
Yeah.
If they didn't catch him, House, that's what it would have been.
Yes,
If they didn't catch him, everybody would have been looking for a young black male.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they didn't catch this cat.
That's correct, sir.
Yeah.
And this is this prophecy about what they doing. And we prophesied this in I.S.U.P.K. that this would happen. And the Lord brought it out. How do you know a prophet by the prophecies that come out of his mouth? And Commander GEN.YAHANNA said this years ago about what they're going to start doing with us. And look at what's going on.
I'm coming to you now, Maraba. And here's what bothers me so much about this. What bothers me so much about this is they ain't going to really stop them. Because he was a cop, there was some pressure.
Yeah.
But if that was a random brother that he had shot and done that to, it wouldn't have had this much. It might not even have made the news.
No.
Especially if they didn't know it was an Edomite. And if they knew it was an Edomite, it still probably wouldn't make the news. Yeah. And the problem is the atmosphere we live in this empire, just like it was during the time of Moses, you're going to see more of this. Like this is going to increase. Listen, we ain't got time to not obey the Most High. We don't have time to not focus on what the Lord wants us to do, because in a minute, there's going to be plenty of him, his friends, his homies, all of them are going, because they're going to start to realize, oh, we don't have to be bored up here. I just read an article where right over in North Carolina, they upset because the young white boys is over there killing all the deers with no licenses. They just coming out in the middle of the night with night vision glasses on, creeping off the side of the road, popping deers. And then the law enforcement chasing them down, and they turn their lights off and cut out in the dark and getting away. They can't find them. They using all kind of stuff to camouflage the heat on their body. They basically learning war games while killing these deers. And the problem is they also gonna be learning how to do this down here. And the problem is we gonna be the victims, and I'm gonna be mad as hell out because ain't nobody gonna stop this. Ain't nobody. organized to stop this except the UPK.
General, if I could, son, to bring this out, what you said is so heavy. Same what happened in Buffalo. That cat in Buffalo, okay, he said he did the same thing. He went down to the ghetto.
Yep.
He did a recon. A recon is like when you want to go do something somewhere, you check the area out, make sure it's safe or how you want to do it. He did the whole area. He chose that area because of what you call a soft targets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Soft targets. Ain't nobody in the hood can have no guns now, right? You in Buffalo, can't have the guns. You know what I mean? But I got my guns, so he traveled over there and checked out. He went and did what he wanted to do, like how this cat did right here.
Yep. Yep.
You know what I mean? For the joy of it.
Just to enjoy
For
himself.
the joy of it.
Took
to
that
take
young
lives.
Took that
to
young
kill.
brother life.
Yes,
Ooh.
sir. And it took me out because, okay, most times when you being chased by a cop, if you turn around and shoot, like, okay, that's bold enough. If you out, you ain't even trying to stay. This cat turned back after he hit him and walked back over to him. And then shot more into this guy while he's laying on the ground. You kidding me? Like, that's a privilege that only our oppressors have.
It's white privilege.
They even had that mindset. I can go back and chew them some more. They had that mindset. Most criminals, they know I done messed up. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
That's the mindset, Slocky, sir.
Sorry, I want to say something that I know don't nobody want me to say. But I pray that he didn't get killed because he didn't think this Edomite was a big threat. That's another one. The Edomites know how to, oh, I'm sorry, officer. I wasn't really carjacking. I was so boom, blow you away. That happens all the time. Yeah. Like them Edomites talk that good English and all that and disarm black people all the time. You know what I mean? That's the last one we alert of. A brother could just be walking up the street and we go on red alert. Like he's got to, like 9 out of 10, he must be a criminal. But a white man, brother, walk into your neighborhood and you think he's the nicest cat in the world. Meanwhile, he got a gun the size of your leg sitting inside his pants. And I just pray that was not what happened here.
Well, if I could back you up, that was a question about 3 weeks ago. General Mayak knows about this, where I went and tested it out before, and I told Mayak about it.
Damn.
Where you ask a cop, have you ever encountered black people racially profiling and committing acts of police brutality against black people? Yes. And of course, white people commit acts of police brutality against black people.
Right.
And to ask a police officer, have you ever seen black cops committing acts of police brutality against white cops? And they say no, they've never even heard of it.
Damn.
Because black police officers treat white people like they're innocent.
Boom.
And that is a real question that I tested it and called Mayak about it afterwards.
Damn.
And said, tell everybody to ask him, because there will be no cop. Every cop will say, I've heard of white cops, of course, abusing power with black people. I've heard of black cops abusing their power with other black people. I have never heard of a black cop abusing his power with a white person, because it doesn't happen.
Never.
Ever.
General, I worked that job for damn near 9 years.
Shalom.
It never happened.
No.
Nobody would ever think about that, because you know the backlash you're going to get going to be your ass.
You see
ain't
that
trying
white
to go
face,
through that.
and now
ain't
you
trying to
what?
go
You
through
careful.
it.
I'm horrified.
You careful what you say.
I'm
How
horrified.
you act. You ain't listen. You don't want them on your ass, so you watch what you say.
I'm
My
horrified.
brother, you don't give a fuck about. But a white man, oh no, you cool.
I'm done.
You like, okay.
I'm done.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
So long as I'm horrified.
If I can, sorry.
Please, General.
If I can take it off what General Muhammad just brought out. Listen,
Sorry,
everybody, anybody, if you got a camera, you should. If you got to know a police or around an officer that's willing to answer questions, ask him that. And ask him how many years you've been on the force. And in all that time, how many times have you ever seen a black police officer use excessive force or kill an unarmed white person? Ask him that and get his answer on video. And after the answer, say after he got to say no, he's never seen it.
Yeah.
But after that, ask why do you think that's so?
That's it.
And get it on video and send it to us, man.
That is amazing.
Because that could have got him killed.
That's could
His
have,
brother. That he saw that white face and paused, hesitated.
Yeah.
And now that poor brother doesn't have any children, and those children don't have a father.
I'm sorry.
If I could real quick, because to draw on a police officer and shoot him in the head. First of all, anybody shooting somebody arm, you never shooting at the head first. You shooting at the body. If you're not a trained cop, right or wrong, huh? You want the center mass. Isn't that what they train?
Yes, sir.
You want center mass because
Yes,
you want to
sir.
be sure you hit them because you know they have a gun.
Yes, sir.
This is a cop in uniform. You know he has a gun. So if you draw your gun on him, you want to shoot center mass because you want to make sure you hit him.
Yeah.
For this cat to shoot in his head, first shot, you got to break that down for me, huh?
Okay.
Come
I'll break it all the way down.
Come
But
on.
he might have had some special training, knowing that cops wear vests.
Them woods.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Listen, them woods. You see them woods out there in Bucks County? You training every morning from 5. That Salakia, that Edomite lives a different life than we live. He up in them woods out. He firing that gun water. He firing that gun out since he's 5 years old, 4 years old. He could hit a deer at 100 yards with no scope. Like that's how they living up
And
there.
if I was the mayor, I'd send a cadaver dog around there to see what's going on.
To see how many bodies he got up there. Come on, Salakia.
I'd go check that land out there.
Come.
I was going to say
Salakia,
something, but what you said and what Mayaka put out is very correct. Okay,
that's
which
crazy.
is why he did what he did. Okay, when I was in the Precious so-called military, like a lot of brothers out here now, they got scopes and red dots, right? I had to qualify for 500 yards with iron sights. Yeah, I mean, in the Precious military, so it wasn't. I didn't have those scopes and all that y'all got today. Y'all got like a big advantage because we didn't have that back in the day. You had to qualify with something iron on your sights to hit them targets. You had to qualify.
And 500 yards.
500 yards is
out
wrong. It's like saying a football field.
Yeah.
Right.
It's 5 times a football field.
Yeah.
Shit.
So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
5 football fields. That's a distance.
So for him to be able to take that shot in the upper body torso instead of shooting down here, mean like how Gen.YAHANNA said he had training. He trained. And this is more proof why you know he had training. When he went back and the young brother was on the ground, when he shot the young brother on the ground, all his shots were upper body from the vest up. The vest covers from here going on down the vital parts. He shot that young brother from the top of the chest with a vest stop going up to the top of his head. Which means he knew where the vest was at. He knew where to shoot him at some more. Which means he had that training. He understood what he was doing. The same thing with that Buffalo shooter. Y'all better check these cats because when he came out with his vest, he was shooting a certain way, which means he trained into what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. The target he was aiming at and how to shoot them. That's why even that cat, the Buffalo shooter, was shooting people in the head. When he got on the ground, he took headshots of everybody on the ground. You understand? They have been trained in this thing here. And they are training in this thing here. You think it's far-fetched? It ain't. This can happen anywhere.
And if I could, Marah, I'm coming back to you. I didn't mean to leave you out there. You good, Salaki. And if I could, Haas, listen, I'm horrified. I'm going to tell you why. Okay? Recently, an Asian just went into a nightclub and shot a nightclub with Asians, right? Before that, remember there was an Asian cat that went and shot up someplace, right? 2 or 3 people he killed.
Oh, yeah.
And they got him. Now, recently, that was an Asian that shot the so-called Jew up in the so-called Jew area. Do you know in Los Angeles, they are popping up with makeshift shooting ranges for Asians? The Asians, they ain't even building no gun store. They just getting a piece of land, getting the permit, setting up the berm, and putting up the targets. And they said them Asians is all buying guns and shooting on them range. They said the guns is they making a mint off of the guns off the Asians. Because now all the Asians is buying off of 3 incidents. They all buying guns. Here's my question. And listen, and here's what, and when I saw it once again, I'm jealous over our people. Because I'm looking at them showing the footage of these gun ranges, right? And ain't no Edomites on the gun range. Ain't no black people. They don't even know about it. They up in some woods somewhere on all these ranges out, and they shooting guns, and they got trainers that's Asian. They Asian. It's all they in their world and they element, and they firing guns and learning the training and all that. And here's my question. How many black-owned gun ranges in Philadelphia?
None.
0. 600,000 people. How many black-owned gun ranges in Baltimore? 0. 250,000 people. How many black-owned gun ranges in New York City? 0. 8 million, about 6 million of them black and Latino. Major cities, we don't own one gun range. We ain't teaching our people, training them with nothing. Go to Jersey, anywhere. But these other nations, they training to protect themselves. You know what I mean? Like we destroyed as a people. We destroyed. And our leaders are destroyed too, man. And it's a shame. And I pray, that's why I say, I hope that cat didn't run up, hey, man, hey, stop what you doing. What are you doing? And I hope he didn't think he was one of them little white temple students, because he looked like he could be one.
Yeah.
Like you could see him and mistake him and say, hey, man, get out that car. What are you doing? Thinking he's one of them white temple students out and catch you off guard and pull out on you.
I think something happened where he ended up chasing. There was 3 of them. It wasn't just him.
Damn.
He had 2 or 3 more cats with him.
See that?
It was like a whole crew of them
so
that he ended up chasing them.
Them some straight killers.
There was some state that they did that. They knew that exactly.
They were chasing.
And okay.
And he still got the drop on.
Yes. Here's even more of that privilege of our oppressor. This cat, when the cops came and got him, he told the cops, I burnt the gun I shot him with. He said, I burnt the gun I shot him with. Like, how bold are you? Most cats don't want to say that now.
Exactly.
He said, I burnt the gun I shot him with. He built and they found a mosh pit outside of the crib that was burned, that was recently done. He said he burnt the gun and shot him with. He just came out and just told him plainly. You know what I mean? That privilege is something else, man.
And if I could say one thing, Haas, and that's why many of you, there are so many things that have to happen in America that though it seems unnecessary, it has to happen to lessen. You know, right now, there is no war in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
There is no war in Iraq.
Yeah.
So where does a murderer go who needs to murder? Yeah. And there's been wars throughout America, I think every year.
Yeah.
The Iraqi war was 25 years.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, House? It was like 20 years.
20, the longest ever.
Yeah, it was 20 years. Before that, there was always wars so that murderers could go somewhere to satisfy themselves. And now there's none. But there is a black neighborhood in every city. And if I could bring out one more thing, Haas, that's why I thank the Most High, General Hazayan. He teaches gun safety, gun rules. What's the name of your business, Haas? Break it down.
SOTR 12.
SOTR 12. He's teaching gun safety. All of the gun rules, if you need to carry a firearm, to be able to be armed, to be able self-defense, to be able to be absolutely legal. In the Israelite school of UPK, we've created that world in here.
Yep.
The things outside that you don't have, that you always wished you could have. Yep. We have those things in here. Yep. And General Hazayan is a certified, licensed firearm instructor with his own business that teaches classes. If I was you, I'd come on in. Salakia, sir.
Damn right. Damn right. Listen, he done taught me some stuff, brother.
You know what he's talking about?
Yeah, he sure do. I just knew I knew how to shoot. I got up in the range with Haas for 5 minutes. He showed me stuff that my accuracy got sweet. It got sweet even for me. I said, listen, we in the gun range, right? Haas said, just give me 5 minutes. Do this, do that, do this, do that. I finished doing it, brother. I started letting loose. The gun range staff start coming over like, he don't got no scope on that? Damn. They start coming over looking. And big shout out to all the brothers, man. Yadiah and all the brothers, Cap McCod, that got me that Precision Elite. I'm finna bring y'all back something good to eat. Big shout out also to the brothers, man, that bought the crossbow and all the other stuff, man. And even all the way back to General Muhammad with the first Philadelphia handgun and all the weapons that brothers have. And them weapons is healthy for us for self-defense. We're not telling you to go arm up to go kill nobody. Of course not. That's what the military's for. But black people, man, you know what I'm saying? For the love of yourself, protect yourself, man. For the love of yourself, man, use whatever legal measures they have to help yourself. Like the whole reason you robbing other brothers is because you let the other nations steal everything you had. So now you robbing other brothers to try to survive. when you could have protected yourself. Like if you're going to shoot another brother to take what he had, why not stop the man that's robbing you and get the honor of stopping him? You know what I mean? Why not stop him, the guy that's really robbing you, and say, we ain't going for that? And then guess what? You won't have to rob you. I mean, it's just crazy, y'all. It's just crazy, man. But Lord allow, we'll learn this before it's too late, because we on the brink of war for sure. It's going down. You know, man. I'm gonna talk more about it during the week. We got anything else? We got less than a minute.
You got something? Okay.
Also, man, big shout out also to Captain Apataza, Officer Thabawan as well, for all the stories. I know y'all brothers work tirelessly to keep us going with them stories, man. Big shout out to y'all. Big shout out also to Officer Thabawan and his new baby, him and his rib and their new baby. Congratulations to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Big Cap Kahan Thumb Ya. You understand? Big Cap and his rib also. You understand? Congratulations for them. They getting ready to have one coming in, man. It's beautiful, man. Also, big shout out to Parasha. I ain't bring him out, but I'm bringing him out this week. Big shout out to Parasha, man, for sending me the gauntlets, Parasha. You've been waiting to find out if I got them, man. They in the house. I'm going to bring them bad boys out. You understand? For sure, they're going to be on set for Passover. You know what I mean? So, big shout out to him. I appreciated that too, Parasha. So, what else? Was that it? I think that's it, right? It's 11 now. Listen, Passover, man, listen, fight the demon. Fight the demon. April 1st, the whole week, we be in the building. Fight the demon. Oh, ain't enough time. Fight the demon. Oh, I don't have a garment. Fight the demon. Put on a Hebrew t-shirt, a UPK t-shirt, and bring your behind down to Passover, okay? Wrap a sheet of a bed sheet over your head. You understand? Tie a knot in the back and shalom. And be down there. We getting it on, okay? Okay, this nation, we must show the world, and we must come together before the Lord, man. And this is a major part of us coming out of this captivity and becoming the Lord's chosen again. So everybody make it down to the Passover, man. Did I forget anything else? Big shout out to the heavy hitters, General Muhammad, doing it like he do. Also, too, Ray, real quick, man. Also, too, I don't know, did you get to play the new? You didn't get to play the new promotional tape for General Muhammad's class. Listen, this locale for General Muhammad's class is the bomb. This locale here, you got to come down and get to this class, brother, on Friday. It's going to be Friday, right? On Friday, the night after the black party, get up in the building in Raleigh, North Carolina. You think these classes that you see online is bad? Wait till you see Muhammad in rare form this year. You know I'm going to tune him all the way up. I'm going to have him full tune. Make sure he get a night of rest, everything. He going to come up in there and rock that joint out, man, Friday, the night before Passover. He does it up. All the hitters will be in the building, man. Great, great brothers, man, that stood in this work, man. General Mayak, General Ha, General Shalmar, General Katham Gabar, General Kubalama. You understand? And all you heavy-hitting captains coming through. Also, I want to thank everybody that supported the Passover this year. Everybody came right. Once again, I be watching it. I checked with the accountants what it look like, and they're like, yo, they doing what they need to do. So everybody been turning in their Passover. If you haven't, please don't be the odd one out. Please don't take this to mean you don't have to take care of it. Send in your Passover, because let me tell you something. If I could real quick, after the Passover, the funds that come in from the donations mean we get to open up new schools or refurbish old schools. We're looking for a school in Washington, D.C. right now. Them brothers suffered years without a school, man, and got down and taught in the house. We're going to get them a school, Lord allow, this year. We're working with Baltimore to set their thing up. New York, get ready. We got our eye on you. That's the big one. New York going to be something. Philly, they might end up.
Dallas needs one too.
Might get a new one. Let me put Dallas on the table. We'll start with them too. Dallas on the table. Some of you who have been paying, just getting a little bit of money from the school, we now going to be able to go back and look and see how much you've been paying out pocket and see if we can lift that burden up off of you more, and the school can pay more of the rent on your school now. Like, we can do this, man. We can do what they never believed we could do. It just take a little commitment and a little not letting Satan get in your head. Because right around now is when Satan is coming. You looking too good. You shining too strong. You understand? Big shout out to Captain Zaria, Captain Katazai. They done buried every zone they dealing with. They're going to Boston to go see the politicians on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you doing it, man. Every camp, I mean, all the camps. Some of them street speakings, man. I'm gonna start highlighting. I'm gonna send some of them street speakings to Marah so we can highlight some of them street speakings before we come on the show. Because some of them street speakings, man, y'all getting good in battles. Toasty, don't look at what it looked like now. In a minute, all the streets are gonna be flooded again. In a minute, the stress of this world is getting ready to be so bad that people are going to come out to the street just to hear what you got to say. Like just like it was. Y'all remember how it was, Eighth and H. People that were so stressed would just come to the speaking just to feel relaxed, just to hear somebody cry out about what they suffering every day. And brother, we fulfilled their bill, did we not?
That's right.
We said what they couldn't say. A lot of you getting some of it on the show. You're going to get more of it, right or wrong.
Yes, sir.
Afterwards, you understand? I remember when Haas, you probably don't remember this. I remember when Haas and I was in Philly. We was right down on Market Street and got in a battle with the skinheads. Remember that, Haas?
Yeah, I remember that.
We went to war with them skinheads. I left the camp. I went up in the midst of them. I was ready to get it on then. I was young and strapping and strong back then. I was like, what? What? I threw one of them back. Them niggas was like, what? Kill this nigga. Haas was like, get him, man. Haas was blazing on the mic. We used to get up into it. But black people loved it. And they loved it because they were so distressed and oppressed. They wanted somebody to, put something to this, man. Say something about this. And the politicians kissing Esau's behind and all. Well, that's getting ready to come back. Okay, because they can switch this digital currency. This digital currency switch is basically they're going to steal all the money in the country. that's basically what they're getting ready to do. They're going to steal all. They're going to make you think you still have it, but they're going to steal everybody's money in the whole country. So when that happens, people are going to be distressed because all the fines, everything you get fined for, every bill you behind, they ain't gonna have to ask you no more to take it. You don't pay your gas bill, they taking it. You don't pay your credit card bill, they taking it. They ain't got to go to no court, nothing no more after this. They just going to snatch the money from you, which you know where they're going to put black people at. Is West Indies, y'all.
Child support. It's happening right now.
Child support. It's happening with child support.
Right now.
That's right. It's getting ready to step up with everything. And so as they get ready to do that, people are going to be in hell and distressed because you're already working from behind because they already robbing you. And they're going to come out into them streets. So y'all season up in them camps. You doing what you should be doing, man. And it's going to be glorious to the Lord. It's what he wants. This is what your king did. This is why he said, go in the highways and byways. You understand? And call them in. He said that. And we doing it, man. And it's an amazing, amazing work. So force yourself, fight them forces. April 1st and the week before. Big shout out to Nathak and his team out there holding it down for us. They getting it ready. Big shout out to Cap McCod. He back and forth already. Getting everything ready, man. Getting that lamb ready. Oh, man, too. Ooh, he sent me the pictures. Ooh. I saw some lust come up in me. I had to fight it. I saw them lambs, brother. They had steers out there, horns out here.
Yikes.
I said, what? How much? They had steers. If you really wanted to stop eating in the supermarket, you could.
You're talking about for the slaughter of the lamb.
Yeah, the slaughter. They're going to have them at the slaughter. Of course, we ain't going to eat them for the slaughter of the lamb. But if you was trying to bring something home, you understand? You wanted to bring something. They got, hens, chickens, all the different exotic birds that we can eat. You know what I mean? Not no duck and all that. Of course. But the good stuff, they got all that out there this year with Captain McCobb, man. They're going to get it on. They got the sheep, the goats coming in. It look good. You know what I mean? Texas still hold the title. You can't get they really do. You can't get no better meat, I don't think, than in Texas.
That's what they do.
Yeah, man. That's the Texas, they do it. North Carolina, y'all handling your business, though.
He said they got turkey out there, too, as well.
I forgot about that. He said they got a whole wild turkey out there. So if you want to get away from all them drugs Esau put in the meat, you know what I'm saying, or just get them at a discounted rate, you can bring on something back home. You know what I'm saying?
And the slaughter of the lamb is before April 1st.
Yes, the slaughter of the lamb, I believe, is like Wednesday or something like that. Wednesday.
Right.
That whole week. Yeah. That's the week. And let me tell you something. That coming together is important in this respect. We've all gone on vacations, man, and spent money with Esau. I see Esau still advertising them cruises. Put you on that boat and float you out in the water, give you a bunch of food from their little restaurants and stuff. Yeah. And we spent thousands on it, right or wrong.
Come.
So we're going to come together, man, and suffer with each other together. Not suffer, because it's going to be glorious, together with each other and have a time of our lives. And listen, and there'll always be, name me a vacation you went on where everything was perfect. It's always a little something that go wrong, but we getting better every year.
That's right.
And big shout out to Hazayan too. I know we over the time, but big shout out to Hazayan, man, organizing this whole Passover, man. Him, Meshach, Zakar, all of them other brothers, all them captains, all down in the South, Texas, everywhere, Chicago, Midwest. I mean, y'all did an amazing job. Organized it well, short time. They organized. I got my mouth is shut. You know what I mean? They really rocking this thing out. Big shout out to Captain Todd Ward, man. Got the whole transportation, the buses, got the whole operation with that going. So let's come together and fight to be with us. We fight to get in Esau's world. Let's fight to be in our world. And guess what? Our world will be Disney World or wherever the hell else you used to go. It'll be that in a second. You know what I'm saying? Right or wrong. Like you can't get nothing if you don't build nothing. And you can't build nothing if you're trying to always enjoy your slave master's world. You can't. How you gonna have your world and enjoy his world? When you got to build your world, you got to not look at where he at and look at where you at. You got to look at where you at and say, I'm gonna eventually be here, and you'll get there. You know what I'm saying? You will get there, but it take all those things, man. And so let's get on, man. We're gonna have the time of our life, Lord allow, this year. You know what I mean? And so many black people gonna be in the city from all over the country. They're gonna be coming in. So it's a chance to really spread this gospel, man, show the world why everybody should get this truth. It's the best thing in the world for us as a people. It's going to change our life, man. It's going to teach us to protect ourselves, man. And I got to thank Officer Morale, Officer Yediah, holding us down every week up in the building, man. Hey, I'll see y'all next time live on the UPK, y'all. Shalom.
Yeah.
That is made like his brother.
Under Commanding General Yahanna for over 2 decades,
for you to turn against your God.
Undisputed and authentic truth of the Bible. At the Lord's annual Passover, he will be live on every social media platform. The airways will be open. Come learn about our God, the Black God, the God of Israel, the God that chose us to be his people, blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, not equal to, but above all nations and races on this earth. Join us this year at the Lord's 54th annual Passover.
Listen carefully.
It's going
There is no woman that can't have children. None. There's always children that need a mother.